and put it on the wall and see the same exact thing.
Why don't you go? Why don't you do a little bit of study of art?
I can also use a.
Hang on, Brad. Why don't you
use many analogies.
Just be quiet for a second. Why don't you go and stop talking? Why don't you go and do a little bit of study of art history to see how we learn to draw in 3 dimensions? So
you're only seeing it in 2 dimensions.
Can you just shut up for a minute?
You only see 2 dimensions.
Oh, you're just unbelievable. You want everybody to shut up while you talk, but you expect to be able to talk. Just shut up.
You can't understand it. That's why.
You don't understand it. Just be quiet while I explain it to you. You're so fucking arrogant. You're a typical delusional person.
You're the one that's.
Oh, shut up.
The one that's swearing and cussing.
You're the one being a complete asshole. So just stop.
Jim.
Oh, really?
Jim,
yeah, really.
Okay, gentlemen. Let's talk about
oh, really?
I don't even understand where the contention is. I mean, even if vision was 2-dimensional, that's fine. Brad still accepts that we're in a 3-dimensional reality plus time, so 4 dimensions.
Yes, I
do. So there's no contention there, really.
No, not at all.
The issue is he's telling me my candle holder is flat. And that's
no, he's not. He's telling you it's round. But he's telling you
not.
Perception is 2-dimensional.
Two dimensions.
I'd like to talk about time, Brad.
That's an illusion.
Well, this is the question that I've got. This is the question that I've got. How old is your creator? I mean, this is a simulation. Where does time fit in? I mean, you're saying 1700 years ago was the time of the last prophet, and you can't tell us who it is because your creator never told you. But 1700 years ago could be that. It could be a click of my fingers. I've no idea. I mean, it's rewind, it's fast forward, it's a skybox. I don't know. So how does that work in your world? I mean, what does this mean?
Well, if you understand a simulation, we can do the same thing through our computers. You create time and space with information. So as the simulation is played out, you experience time. Okay, but if you let's say I can teach you a time illusion. For instance, if you walk up to a stoplight and you have to stand there for 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes until the light turns green, that time just seems like sometimes it goes by really slowly because you're in a hurry.
This is your argument?
No.
Wow.
I'm not asking about a time illusion. I'm not asking about a time illusion. I'm asking about time. How does it work? I mean, we've got a sun that goes around and we track it around and it gives us a perception of time, a 1 day. On our Earth, that is 1 day. What is time in your simulation? What does that mean?
Well, it's meaningless to me now that I understand how we were created. But time is just space and motion. As you perceive it. So if you understand how we're created, let's say he used cinema a lot to help me understand how he created us. So we're actually seeing one set of information at a fast enough pace to make us believe light is real, that light has motion. So we're observing things as fast as light. Where cinema, we're watching 24 frames per second. Now we have 50 and 60, high HD, 50, 60 refresh.
They go way higher than that.
No, we got simulation games up to even 300, 400.
You're talking about real world, right?
But yeah, so what we're observing is information flowing at the speed of light. That's what gives us the perception that light is in motion, which is not. It's just an illusion.
Light isn't in motion.
No, not at all. Not at all. Okay, so that's what you perceive.
No, that's reality.
But information, it takes a lot of information to put together a picture that we observe and feel and touch and hear and smell and whatever. But that's a lot of information there that has to pass to be processed into the visible, this world that we're living in. So So the speed of light is just basic. There's no light in motion. It's just a perception. Okay, it's not real. It's not something that's real. Part of our brain can. Or
No.
see, our brain is an illusion. Actually, our brain is an illusion.
Our brain is an illusion too.
Yeah,
So
the brain is
everything other than
something that's
you,
real.
everything other than you
No.
is an illusion. Is that what you're saying, Brad?
We perceive ourselves as having a brain, but we don't really need a brain. We don't even need internal organs to exist.
Oh,
That's
you're
an
a
illusion
fucking
too.
idiot.
In the next stage, we won't have any internal organs.
Yeah, keep
None.
believing that yourself.
Zero.
I cannot
We won't have.
believe. I can't
Yeah,
believe
we won't
how
have.
silly
In the
you
prophecies
sound.
that show we'll never be hunger. We'll never have hunger pains.
That's more
We'll never
biblical
understand.
theology. That's more right out
No,
of the
no,
Bible.
no. It doesn't make any difference. There's
What
I know,
You're picking
all
stuff
this-
right out of the
listen,
Bible again.
all the stuff that I know was taught by our Creator, who had the
Yeah, it
prophets.
sounds an awful
Right.
like the God of the Bible, though.
There's only one Creator of our simulation. Everything I share with you comes from the mind of our Creator
No, it comes
through
from
the
your mind.
simulation.
It
No.
comes from your mind.
No, all our
No,
minds are.
it really
listen,
it does.
You don't even know what a mind is.
Oh,
You have no idea what a
really? I
mind
don't
is.
know what a mind is. And what
No.
is a mind?
No.
What is
No,
a
you
mind?
don't.
Go ahead, tell me.
It's just thoughts. It's information. That's all it is.
Mine's a-
Okay. So
Okay, our
you're-
consciousness is just processed information that gives us the illusion that we're somebody. It's a self-awareness thing, but it comes from the programmed information. All our thoughts are formed from that simulation. It's all created. We don't come up with any thoughts. We don't create thoughts.
Okay, so now try and prove everything you've just said that we're just in a computer game. Prove
It's a
it.
belief system. It's a belief system.
Okay, so I can just reject it because you can't prove it, just like
Yes.
I reject all the other gods.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me.
Of course
Makes
it
no
doesn't.
difference
So
to me.
what's the point of you going on and on and on?
Okay. And the
Well,
worst issue here is
Maybe for the other people. It's not for
Yeah,
you then.
I'm pretty sure
Maybe
none of them
for-
believe
Okay.
either.
Well, it doesn't matter. You're speaking for other people.
No,
Don't
I
speak for
didn't
other
say
people.
I know.
Speak
I
for
said
yourself.
I think they don't. I didn't
Speak
say
for
they did.
yourself. Speak for yourself.
Just shut
for
up.
yourself.
Stop playing your fucking game.
Speak for
I'm
yourself.
pretty confident that if you were to ask everybody
No.
in this room, they would completely disagree with you.
Speak
Go
for
ahead.
yourself.
I am, and I'm asking you to
Let
go ahead
the
and
other
ask
people
everybody
speak.
else and
Let
stop
the
looking
other
like a
people
little a 4-year-old boy.
Let the other people speak.
Why don't
And
you
then
ask
you'll see who the
them?
4-year-old
I dare
boy
you
has
to
been.
ask them. Go ahead, ask
Let
them.
me see who the 4-year-old is here.
Go ahead, ask them.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It strikes me, Brad, that all of your analogies and all of your thought processes that have gone into this belief worldview stem from late 1990s and through the 2000s in terms of the technological age that we have developed. The Matrix, the original TV movie, The Sims, and development of video games and the advancement of human technology and understanding and how to use computers and the ideas of robots and George Orwellian type of this, that and the other. You're mixing a lot of it in with bits of Nietzsche and etc., etc. It all just seems to be a bit of a mishmash of a lot of other things that have actually happened that are just part of our world, and you've somehow got it into your head that, oh, this is actually, these stories, these bits of fiction are actually the reality of what the real worldview and the real thing is, and therefore you just flipped to sort of mode as far as I can tell. The concept that it's a simulation, it's all binary, it's all ones and noughts, and it's two-dimensional, and time isn't real, and we can't see this, that, and the other, and physics and biology and evolution and religion and everything is completely wrong, because actually it's just been made up, and it could have been made up 5 years ago, and all of our history and everything is just slowed down into a really, really much smaller space, but we believe it's really long, and we've got billions of years of the Earth behind us within our universe. You know, it's like it strikes me, Brad, that something's just clicked in there, and you're just utilizing whatever you've.
Well, thank you for trying to speak for me there, sir.
I wasn't
You
trying to
have
speak
no-
for you.
you
I
have
wasn't
no
trying to
idea.
speak for you at all.
No,
I
you've
wasn't
twisted
trying to
everything
speak
I've
for you.
said. You've twisted everything into your...
I was trying to interpret,
That's
in
right.
my view, of what's going on.
And that's why there's many Christian groups interpreting the New Testament wrong, because they get their own viewpoint and get it all wrong. Okay, because they don't listen to the voice of the Creator or obey His commandments. That's where it all stems from.
That's correct.
I think he was.
Pretty close.
I think people are listening to you, Brad. I just don't
Well,
think they agree with you.
That's what I know, and but some people get really testy and upset and argumentative and angry, and I know that. I've witnessed that many times since I've been here. I used to, I've spent a lot of time in the forums sharing this information, so I've gotten threatened and.
But the
verbally
problem is,
abused.
Brad, is you never question the veracity of your own argument. That's a very scary place to be.
No.
And that I said that a little while ago too. That's right. There's no point.
That's true. You're right. You're right on the money.
But I said that,
Yeah,
and you
that's
said I
right.
was wrong.
No. But no, I didn't say that. I'm just agreeing that we won't remember any of this.
Then why do you even talk about it? What is the point?
Because it's part of the program. I'm just being part of the program.
But-
I'm experiencing what
so
God.
you don't have any
what-
independent thought. You
No,
don't say, this is
none,
stupid.
none,
I want to
none,
go and do
none,
something else.
No,
Like,
no,
you
no.
don't have
None of
any
us.
thoughts like that?
None of us do.
Well, I do, but that's okay. But so
No,
you're
no,
just
it's
you're just,
perceived
well,
that
according
way.
to you,
Right.
I don't, because I'm
We're in
just playing a part in the
Think of
role.
us as being in a play. Everything's
Yeah,
already
I
scripted.
think I just said
right?
that.
Well, that doesn't help you either.
That's hard to imagine, though, isn't it?
No,
quick,
it's
quick clarification,
hard to put that
please,
together.
Brad, just a quick clarification. So even though our thoughts are programmed, are any of them true?
Everything comes from our Creator, so it's true or false. It doesn't matter. Everything comes from our Creator. All your thoughts do. I never say, I try to steer you in the right direction, but that doesn't mean you're going to go that
to
direction.
what purpose?
Wait,
To what end?
hang on.
Okay.
Hang on.
All. Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, it's just programmed for you to be aware that there's some. No, it's programmed for you to realize that it's a part of the program confuses you. You think you have free will, but you don't. Okay,
Well, I'm pretty
I've
sure he doesn't
experienced.
think he has free will.
Well, it's just part of the program that confuses us because
Okay,
we've always
so I'll ask
we've
you
always
again.
thought most people have always thought that our thoughts come from the brain. We think that we create those thoughts. No, because those thoughts came to you from our Creator to do that. No, I know that. Everything does. No, none of them do. Yeah. Yeah, we're part of the Creator. We're His thoughts.
I think they
No,
wrote this
because
movie a long time ago.
He's the master programmer. He did all the programming. He's the one that thought it all out. We are just his. We are his thoughts. We are his thoughts spoken into a virtual reality, a simulation.
So
Okay. No. Okay. No. Watch. You can perceive yourself as that if you want, because
so Brad,
we all came from the Creator. That's right. We can all say, but yes, we all are. We are one mind. We are all in one thoughts. No, 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 no. We're not programmers. We didn't do the programming. We didn't
That's
create.
not what you just said.
We did not. We did no, no. We did not create the simulation. Okay. No, the characters in a Sim City thing did not create themselves.
But you
Okay.
just said that
Okay.
we were part of the Creator, right?
well, it comes down to the truth claim here. So Brad, would you say what you're saying is true, that you have knowledge of this?
Welcome, brother.
Did I what?
Brad, so what you're saying, is it true?
Everything I'm saying.
Everything you're
Everything.
saying. Okay,
And
so
you can't be wrong
so-
ever.
wait,
Everything
wait,
I
hang
speak
on.
comes from our Creator.
Okay, thank
Everything.
you, thank you.
But
So,
if you
so the
don't
second
understand
question.
it, it's if you don't
Okay.
understand it,
Yes,
because you
yeah,
want
I do.
to
Okay.
understand it.
So, oh fuck.
Sugar has mods. Sugar
Okay.
has
I'm here.
mods.
What do you need? Oh, visit. Okay, got it. Thank you. Got it. Sorry.
Thanks, 13. Appreciate that. Okay, so Brad, so you have knowledge. So that means that these creations, the Sims that we are, can actually possess knowledge.
I think I don't
Yeah,
have
you
them
get it.
anymore.
I'm
Correct.
sorry.
Okay. So how do I discern that which is knowledge from that which is I don't know, just part of the program?
You only get so much. You only get so much information to deal with life. So your body always does exactly what it's created to do, but you get various thoughts. Think of yourself sitting on a couch. Okay, there's two different scenarios. One person be sitting on the body is sitting on a couch, and all you're doing is watching TV all day long, not thinking about anything, just sitting there watching TV, just aimless, nothing, no thoughts coming into your mind. Where another person sits on the couch, another body, he's thinking about the future, making plans on going to vacation or a business. He's got all these thoughts coming into his mind. So that person gets all
Are
those
any-
thoughts from our Creator,
Are,
and another
are
person
any of
gets
those thoughts true? Are any of those thoughts true?
Everything's true from our Creator. Everything was.
Oh,
Okay.
okay,
Well, you think
okay,
of true and false. Okay.
Brad, you're wrong.
People
Is that
think
true?
of true and false. Okay. We think of true and false. Um, okay. Right now, when you say I'm not, you don't believe, or say if somebody says I'm not the voice of the Creator, you're falsifying. You don't know. You have
How do
no
I tell the
idea.
difference?
You have no way of knowing. So when you
How do
say
you
I
tell the
don't,
difference?
when you say I'm not the voice of the Creator, it's false. It's a lie.
How do
Okay?
I know that? How do I know that? How can I
Well,
determine?
you
what
don't
is-
know that. You don't know. You can't determine that. It's
So-
impossible for you to determine that.
So in other words,
No,
I
if
know.
you, no,
Okay.
if you were
so
given
just-
the knowledge, if you were given the knowledge to listen to me and believe it's the voice of voice of our Creator, voice
You
of the
almost
Lord.
said the Lord.
Well, it is because He is the Creator.
So there's more biblical references.
Doesn't make it. I can use all kinds of Bible. I can go into the prophecies and teach you stuff. Okay, I can go into the prophecies and teach you. I don't need to do that.
Well, yeah, I understand that.
A lot of language.
Yeah.
A lot of our language came from the biblical knowledge or biblical scriptures.
The only reason I ever pointed out is because he's made it very clear that none of this is based on anything that has anything referencing the biblical God. But yet,
That's a lie. That's an absolute lie.
come on.
That's an absolute
Come on.
lie. You twisted everything. Listen, you lied to. You lied.
Holy smokes! You want to
No.
go back to the beginning and watch
listen.
yourself?
Listen, you didn't hear me when I told you that our Creator used people named prophets and saints. Okay.
I heard
Who
everything you've
Who
said.
spoke to prophets? No, you didn't.
I sat here and
Actually,
listened to everything
You
you've said.
twisted everything.
No, I
I've
didn't.
said.
I said it
You're
on
Actually,
an
I've got to
absolute
side with
liar.
I've got to side with James because you have been being very counter-biblical with this.
I'm very
So,
what I'm. Okay.
Can you state what your actual position is related to that to eliminate any further ambiguity?
Everything I testified to, okay? I can go into the biblical prophecies and prove to you that what I'm saying is online. It's correct, okay? The prophecies are bits of information, bits of the story that I had to write for our Creator. So I had to write the Creator of how this end of the age, how we'll live in the next age, and from
okay,
that,
when you're saying that you had to write, what are you referencing specifically?
His own website.
every
Okay,
word
you're
that comes
referencing your own website. You're not actually because depending on how one interprets what you're saying, it could be taken to be the implication that you're claiming that you were one of the authors of the Bible or something like that. I just want to clear that up.
Yeah, if I would have lived back 2,000
Yeah,
years
you're
ago,
not claiming that that was the case. Okay.
all my testimonies would be like the other saints went through and the prophets. Yes.
You're
So,
equating
Brad,
yourselves to
the
not
ri-
claiming that you
okay,
were one of these
the-
But you
people.
said that no
the-
Christian. You said that no Christian has ever been a prophet like you are. None of them.
No.
None of them
None of
have any.
None.
Pardon me.
None of them.
Say,
Not one.
so then why do you equate yourself to a biblical prophet?
Because you don't understand what the Bible's
No,
about.
because you're not
You have
making.
no idea.
You don't
You
have a
have no idea.
cognitive way
You
of
have
putting
no
your
idea
cohesion,
why
your
the
argument
Bible-
together.
Actually, instead of sitting there and just countering, can we try to explore what he means by that?
Well, I'd like to ask, when you say that he doesn't understand the Bible, and when he's disagreeing with you, that surely, by your by your worldview, is
For one
the
thing, they don't-
creator making him do that. That's the creator. Is that not the
Christians,
case?
Christians don't understand how the Bible came into being. They have no idea.
Right.
Oh, okay,
So
how
what-
are you stipulating that it came into being?
Okay. God,
Okay.
our Creator, used people, characters called prophets and saints to write and speak for Him. Okay.
Okay, but that's what you're...
No.
Okay,
There
keep
were
going.
There were original writings. All right.
Yeah.
There were original writings written by the prophets and the saints. All those got in the hand, and this was planned by our Creator. All those writings got in the hands of religious people who worship false gods and were controlled by the beast.
Okay, strictly speaking, what you just stated
Okay.
is false.
What?
Strictly speaking, what you just said is false, because these weren't things that were written down by prophets and saints, etc.
Yeah.
These were
Exactly.
things that were verbal narratives that were passed down. They weren't written by
For a
some
while.
prophet or saint. These
Yes.
were narratives that long before they started actually being transcribed as the Torah, these were just simply word-of-mouth stories that would be told around the fire, etc., that much
Right.
later, game of telephone, etc.,
And our
was eventually then
And
imparted to people.
Our
Original
Creator,
manuscripts.
Our Creator is in total control of all of that.
Whether
So the-
you're to stipulate the Creator is in control of that or not,
Everything.
the statement itself is
Everything.
technically false in that
It's-
these
no,
saints didn't
it's-
write down a word of it. And if you look at the accounts that are in the scriptures,
the-
you'll see
all
that
the-
these are third-hand accounts of these
Mhm.
events.
There you go. Okay, they're third hand because the saints, the writings that the saints wrote, did
But
not
they didn't
get.
write.
Okay,
They
Prove
didn't
it.
write
they
it down.
did not
Prove
get
it.
put in the New Testament.
Prove it.
None of them. None of them.
But
Prove it.
I mean, that's the problem, is that the saints didn't write these things. These accounts were written down by other people. And long before that, they were just verbal narratives.
I'll show you how Christianity started. Okay,
Feel free.
According to your
the-
worldview.
the saints No, it's not a worldview. It's from the Creator. The
Well,
saints
whatever.
were the saints.
You still
were
haven't
preaching-
proven this creator
the saint,
exists.
the first saint who came to testify to this knowledge that not even the prophets understood. The first saint started speaking, and there were a lot of people listening to him. Religious people, believers. The religious people.
What
was his
according to
name?
your claim, who was he?
Watch. They were rejecting. It doesn't matter what his name is. The first
Sure, it
saint.
does. Makes a
What's
huge
his name?
difference.
What's his name? I want to know what his name is.
You can call him Jesus if you want.
You would have to
Okay,
precede
here we go.
Jesus
All
by
right.
a lot. It would have to
I think I've heard the
precede Jesus
story before. A man
New
named
Testament.
Beasley. A man named
Peter,
Beasley.
Paul, Timothy, some of the names that you see in the New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I can understand that there's some of that stuff that's written fit the testimonies that I had to write, and fit the
actually,
prophecies, and fit the prophecies. But most of it is religious.
You do understand in terms of the names ascribed to the very books have nothing to do with the authorship, right?
Listen, yes, I know that.
Okay.
I know that for a fact.
Okay, just making sure.
I
you're
didn't
clear on
have
that.
to. I didn't have to go study history or anything. Our Creator told me that. Okay, in the second writing he had me write, it's right there. It's all in there. So he let me know that gospel that was preached by the saints got dissipated by religious people, corrupted by religious people who were practicing religious traditions, and they mixed some of that knowledge in with their knowledge, and that's where Christianity started. It's an extension of the Judaism. Of course the building, the beast, influenced the minds of Christians to go on and keep building things with their human hands.
Brad, are you saying Jesus told you this, Brad?
No, our Creator.
Well,
Our Creator's not a man named Jesus.
Didn't you just say Jesus is the one who?
He's claiming the first. He
when did I
referenced
say
that name
First
for the.
prophet.
He
when did I
He
referenced
said
that
you
name.
can call him Jesus.
Yeah, he didn't specifically say it
The
was
first
Jesus.
saint. I said the first
He
saint.
never said it was Jesus. He said you can use the name if you want it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
The
What?
first saint. I say the first saint because I don't care what his name was. You care what their names were? I don't.
Well, actually, when you try to correlate some
Yeah.
of the stuff to what we consider history, it really helps if we get names right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the thing
I'm
is
gonna-
that
I'm
you
gonna
could certainly
say-
make the argument that the first proposed holy man is somebody that wouldn't have been documented because the name wouldn't necessarily be recorded.
You can call us holy. We're not religious people. Okay.
I meant full of
we're
holes,
cha-
but go ahead.
We're characters that are used to write and speak for our Creator. Okay.
And
So
to what
So
end?
the first saint who was used then to start writing and testing, that starts the 1,000-year reign of Christ. That started the 1,000-year reign of Christ. That would be the time that all the saints testified to this knowledge of God, to give us this knowledge of who we are and where we're headed. Okay, and what his plan is.
So are you
so-
stipulating that there
so the
has
first-
been a
so the
1,000-year reign of Christ?
Well, that's just a symbolic term. We've been 2,000 years now, or more, or however long it's been.
I'd have to disagree with that.
1,000-year reign of Christ is just a symbolic term to mean the time that he starts revealing this knowledge about the future to us and how we were created. Okay, so the first saint who testified learned that we came from an invisible realm. They all learned that. All the saints who came after the first saint, they all learned the same thing. But every one of them testified to new knowledge. So all the saints got new knowledge to learn. as
But in
time
accordance to your dogma, they're all wrong.
Yeah,
I never said
exactly.
that. I never said that. Because watch this.
Okay.
The original writings were not used to write the New Testament, to put in the New Testament. None of them were.
Well, how
Not
do you
one.
know that?
Well, because I can easily see all the religious dogma that was added to it. That's why.
Well,
But
actually,
you don't have any originals.
hang on, if I may, though, in terms of the
I
New
do.
Testament, though,
I have 2,000 pages of
That
writings.
you
Oh,
wrote.
so is the gospel according
No.
to Brad?
Yeah, you
That's
wrote
right.
it, Brad.
No, it's according to. Okay. When you say the gospel of Jesus, the gospel of Peter, the gospel of Paul, what that means is whoever wrote for our Creator. That's what it means. The Gospel of Thomas, for example, is a writing that didn't get into the New Testament, but that's some good stuff.
So that's
It's all.
Okay.
It's all.
But it doesn't
It's
agree with
constant.
your claims.
Oh no, everything does in
Oh,
that gospel.
how
no,
so?
come on. Now you're just making shit up.
No.
You've been telling us for the last 2.5 hours that none of it agrees with anything you're teaching.
No,
You've
no,
just
no.
been so emphatic that none of this
No,
stuff
no
comes
one
from the
should-
Bible. So
you-
come on, get your story straight.
Yeah, pretty much he wrote his own Bible. I mean,
know what?
that's where,
You know
with
what?
the writings, with the inspiration that you might have gotten inspiration from a creator, I don't doubt.
I'm gonna share something. None of the saints
was-
had a. None of the saints had a New Testament to read.
Well, that's
None of
not
them.
news
I
to
have-
anybody in here.
Okay, so they were writing for their own personal use to learn, get this knowledge so they could go out and preach the gospel. So they never used their writings to go out and witness to people. They just spoke it. So writing it gets the basic knowledge, and then when we start
The
speaking
people
it,
who did the
Right.
preaching at the time of the New Testament beginnings did not write their own writings. Those were written
all the saints did.
Just let me finish.
You don't know
were-
nothing. You don't know anything.
Those were written decades after these people did their work. That is documented history. You can call it whatever you want. Your God might have revealed something else to you, but it's wrong.
Well, without perhaps the exception of Paul or his.
Well, you're a-
Possibly,
did do the
possibly
writings.
Paul's scribe might
You're-
have done
you're-
some of
you're
it,
still a
but it
Christian.
all came out after he was
You're still
years
Christian.
after it took place.
You're still New Testament minded. That's why.
No, I'm not. I'm an atheist
Yeah.
for fuck's sake.
No, you're New Testament minded.
Actually,
I'm not
You have
sure
no-
what
you
your
have no
mind
idea.
is,
You have
if
no
that's
idea how the-
okay.
You have no idea how the scriptures came, how those words
Yeah,
came into
you
being.
know, right?
But-
Because your
but
Yes,
creator
I do.
told you,
Yes.
right?
hang on.
I know.
If he's going to claim that he's the only one that knows how these words came into
Well, of
being,
course he
please,
is.
by
It's
all.
the only way you can keep it
Well, no.
delusional.
I'd like to ask how he thinks they came into being then.
Yeah. It's the same way I did it. It's the same way I was used. I was used to write down. It took about a couple thousand pages of writing and then a lot of writing in the forums. So I probably wrote hundreds of books worth of writing to get
Okay,
basic
there's
knowledge.
immediately a problem with that stipulation,
No,
because
there
if
isn't.
if we are merely programmed to write or to think what we're supposed to be, and this is all scripted ahead of time, then therein we have a problem, because every book would be directly from the mind of God or inspired directly by it, regardless of what its content may be.
Okay. Then you got to understand why he's got different sets of thoughts in this world. Okay, they're different. There's names for them. Satan is one set of thoughts. The beast is another set, and then Christ contains
But
all
those
thoughts.
would be programmed. And why would you stipulate that
Not
Christ has
programmed.
all of them if you're
No, it's not
claiming that
programmed.
Christ isn't the God?
So you got to understand that the thoughts that created this good and evil world, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, then is everything that come from this world.
More
The
Bible.
thoughts that. Okay, that's okay. I understand it. You don't.
Fuck off.
You don't understand anything in there.
Well, if we don't understand the Bible, that's because
I'm
because
using-
the Creator
it's all
has made it
symbol.
that way.
It's all
surely.
symbolism. All the
Okay,
prophecies.
so what I have so far is God is Christ, God is the beast, God is Satan, God is
Thoughts.
everyone?
Those
God
thoughts.
is us.
That information called Satan, called the beast,
is also
called
God,
Christ. It's just information. 3 different sets of information.
but it's also God.
It's God playing house. Like we're the dollhouse, and he's
Came
moving
from
the
the
pieces
mind.
around.
It came from the thoughts of our Creator, who created a simulation that we're
And
involved in.
to what end? What is the point of you telling us all of this if it makes no hill of beans difference to my next iteration and my future? What is the point of you speaking all of these things to us?
Well, there you go. You include us. I don't care about you. Maybe somebody else is interested. So speak for yourself.
The problem is, Brad, earlier,
You're a fool to include us or
yeah,
say
but the
we.
problem, Brad, is
Okay,
earlier-
take the word
earlier-
us out
hang
and
on,
say,
hang on,
why are
hang
you
on,
telling me
hang
this?
on. Yeah, great. The problem is,
leave
Brad,
the room
you
then.
said
Hang on,
earlier.
guys,
You said
jeez.
earlier.
Listen, leave the room if you
Fuck's
don't like it.
sake.
Hey,
Actually,
guys,
I was-
there are no modifications when the room goes off air. So I'm going to really need you guys to, police it yourself. I know you can. You've been doing a beautiful job. So,
And I was actually going to jump in and say, please, G's trying to get something that he feels he's impassioned about out, so please let's all let him speak for a moment.
Earlier, Brad, thank you. Earlier, Brad had said that unless God allows it, we cannot know anything, which renders all of this even more of a waste of time than James thinks it is. because unless God allows it, we cannot know or agree with him. There's nothing he can say that will convince us unless his creator deems it the case. So there's no point. This is literally him wasting his time, and his creator is messing him around, it would seem.
Exactly.
Well, you're getting information that you've never heard before. And
But
it's
we can't
hard.
know it, Brad. That's the problem. We can't know it. You
Oh,
can
we have heard this before.
What?
Yeah, actually, if
Now,
I could,
here you go. You said we. Now,
if I could
speak
jump
for
in
yourself.
with a
Well,
quick
I
counter,
meant we
No
as far
lines.
as the people in this hangout.
if I
I
can
wanna
jump
tell
in
you-
with
I
a
wanna
quick
tell you-
counter, there
Okay.
was an argument put forward quite a number of years ago, long before the invention of computers and what have you, that was proposing God as essentially being the author of life and reality, and we are all just characters within the mind of God, basically like God is the writer of the story and we are just characters in that story. So this is nothing new. The only
No, I know that.
thing new in it is the iteration now that we're in the computer age.
Yeah, and that's what he needed to teach us exactly how he did it.
Well, we can't know that, Brad. You've
Yes,
shut
I
down
do.
your own
I
argument.
know. I
You
know.
might know it. That's
No,
fine.
That's
But
right.
we can't know and accept what you're saying because God has not.
Given you.
Hasn't
Yes.
come to me and said it, and I don't know about anyone else because I can't read
Okay,
their mind.
thank you. Thank you for identifying yourself. Okay, and you not knowing that. That's fine. I'm not here for you then. If you can't understand what I'm saying, then leave the room. Simple as that.
Well, I'm not going to leave the room because
Okay.
you want me to. I'm going to leave the room with my own volition. But your argument,
Don't
this
speak
is
for the
your
whole group.
argument, Brad.
Please don't
This
speak
is-
for the whole group.
I'm not
Please
speaking
don't.
for the whole of the room. I'm saying to you that your own
Say-
argument.
Please don't talk down to the whole room.
Please say
Brad, I
this.
don't think you understand what you said.
Please say this. I don't understand you. Why can't you say that?
Actually, if I can cut in for a moment, please. What I'm hearing here is essentially the war cry of every cult leader. If you don't agree with me, then you're not understanding me. And if you're not understanding me, then you should simply go somewhere else, because obviously it's not meant for you, because you're not truly enlightened enough to understand it, or at that place to understand it, or what have you. I mean, we hear this kind of stuff from supposed spiritual leaders all the time, that if you disagree with me, clearly it's because the message is not meant for you, and this and that, and it's a cosmic cop-out, really.
No, that's the way
really
it is. No, that, I agree with you. That's exactly how he set it up.
So you are admitting that you're a cult leader.
No, I'm not a leader. I'm just here to speak information. I don't start no group.
To what
Okay.
end? To what
Huh?
purpose?
Brad,
Because
so
I'm
if we're
part
all
of,
just
that's what he
if we're,
planned.
if we're all just
Planned on
we're all
What
that.
just
salvation? I guess he's asking, what salvation are you teaching?
if we're all
Brad?
just
Because
characters
obviously,
in a play,
the-
Oh,
if
that
we're all just
salvation thing.
characters in a
Christian?
play.
Why do you always
If we're all
refer to
just,
Christian
if we're all
salvation?
if we're all just characters in a play, right?
If you
How
understand
do
what
you
I'm
know
saying-
that your role represents reality in any way? Right? There are many people out there, and they all have different thoughts about reality and et cetera, and et cetera, et cetera. So how do you know that your thoughts are true and represent reality in some way, rather than just being part of this scripted program?
All right. I know that there's only certain people called believers that are going to listen to this knowledge that I speak to them. I know that. Okay, so listen. Now they come in various. Everybody's different.
You're just
Some take a
repeating
little,
yourself.
Some take a little, some take a lot. Okay, from this knowledge.
Okay.
I'm not here to give you the whole set. It's impossible for me to teach you in one setting everything that I know. It's impossible.
It doesn't matter what you know until you can demonstrate to me that within this model of reality that you presented, that you're actually presenting truth rather than you being just a programmed character who's spouting lies.
Okay, I'm not spotting lies. Okay, you're
Well,
the
in your
one that
mind, you're
perceives
not.
it.
No.
You're the one
Until you
without the
prove them
knowledge
to be
perceive it.
true, we can't accept them as true. You haven't
Well, then
proven
you're-
them true,
then you're gonna
other than
die
by
without
asserting
any
your
knowledge.
position again.
Then you're going to die
Brad.
confused.
It doesn't,
Brad.
Brad, it doesn't matter if I die confused because I'll just reboot into the next iteration.
There you
and
go.
carry
And
on
then-
and not
then in
even
the
care
new-
about this
and then in the-
conversation.
Then in the next part, you will understand who you are.
Now you sound Hindu.
No,
Yeah,
it's,
the
it's written in the
contradiction
prophecies. It's all in the
is this.
prophecies. It's all in
Brad,
the
the
prophecies.
contradiction is this.
Mhm.
You say that we all have a scripted role. Some
Yeah.
of us have a scripted role to spout lies, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Everybody does.
How do you know that you're not in a scripted role to
Dex, he
spout
just
lies?
said everybody does.
Because that's
So
the
how do you
Satan-
know? So wait, so you are spouting lies?
No, not me.
You just
used-
said
How do you
everybody
know?
spouts
Okay.
lies.
Yeah.
Including you.
If I'm talking from the flesh, from this world, yes. But I'm not
Before
talking
you
from this
said
world.
before you said you never lied. So now
No,
you're
no,
changing
no.
your tune
When
a
I
little bit here.
listen, when I speak for our Creator, I can't lie. When I speak,
How do you know you're
I-
speaking from the
when
Creator?
I
Now he
speak,
speaks like the
when I speak from the old Brad that I was before this knowledge came into being, then I was a liar.
It really
How
doesn't
do you,
matter.
Brad,
I told you there's different sets
That-
of thoughts.
excuse
I
me,
told
Brad.
you there's different sets of thoughts.
Brad, how do you discern when
All
you're
the-
speaking
all
from
the-
God?
All the thoughts from this world are mainly about the objects that we see and our experiences in this world. That's all subjective, and that's the language that we use to speak to each other. All our experiences.
All that
what
doesn't
we-
matter.
That includes
All-
our, that includes our concepts of God.
All that knowledge will go away and die. That's part of the simulation. That's the entropy. That's the part
That is
of
not
us that-
entropy. Don't you dare throw that word in there.
Oh no, entropy is going to change. We're not going to experience that.
So the laws
in
of
the next
physics
life.
are going to change.
Yes, absolutely.
Sweet.
No
Now
more
I know
decay.
you're a moron.
Actually,
no
if,
more
if,
decaying.
if I can
because it's
cut
all
in for a
simulated.
moment, please.
It's all simulated, so you can change anything.
If I can
We're
cut
gonna-
in for a
we're gonna-
moment, please. If everything is programmed and everything is the result of the mind of God, and everything has already been set down, no free will, none of this other stuff, then it would be no entropy in the system. Because that would merely be programmed to act exactly the way it is and wouldn't be adding
Exactly.
chaos to this matrix. There's the problem.
That's
Well,
true.
you believe well, when I say entropy, you believe that these things that are going on in this world, okay, that was planned. That's all planned by our Creator to deceive us, to confuse man.
So your creator is the deceiver.
Yes, of course.
Holy fuck.
Wow.
Then how do you
just don't-
know?
Hang on, bro. Hang on.
He
Let me get this.
He intentionally
Wait,
kept
hang
his
on.
people from
So
knowing
you
what.
just,
Yeah, for
you're
fuck's sake,
just-
I can't even get a
you
word in.
just said that your creator is the deceiver,
Yes.
but you're telling me that your creator can't lie. Gee, how do you live with both those? How do you live with that dichotomy?
No, he can't lie when he speaks
But
about.
you said he is the deceiver.
Okay. Yeah, he deceived all
Okay,
his
so he's
people.
deceiving, but
with-
you're telling
with-
truth.
Well, listen, he deceived everybody with this world, making them believe this is real. So all along, everybody thought this was real. And he said,
your
if
God
you
is the God of deception.
Watch this. If he said, if you listen to my voice and obey my commandments, then everything will be.
More Bible verses.
No. It just means if you listen to his voice, which is the knowledge he teaches through us saints.
But you just said he was a liar. Well, how can I trust him now?
I didn't say he was a liar.
You did.
No,
You
I said
did.
he deceived us with this world.
That's
Like
a lie.
That's what a lie is.
That's what a lie
No.
is. Deceiving
No.
and lying are the same
No.
word. So if God,
No.
if your
No, it
creator
isn't.
God is
Not
the
the
God
way-
of deception,
Not in the way you think.
no. Well, there's how many different ways can we take
come
that
on.
word? Come on.
All right.
I've
Get
gotten
your
in this
ideas
argument
right,
with
Brad.
other
You can't even
believers
keep
before that
Okay.
deception and lying are different. So
Watch
apparently in
this.
believer world they are different.
He created this world a simulation. Now, we always believed we were real people. All these ages, most people believed this was our true reality. That's what deceived us.
Wow.
Until we get the knowledge
But
to
your God
understand where we came
lies.
from.
But your God, your creator is a liar.
Our Creator set up the simulation and then had to teach us who we are. So all the time, all his characters in the simulation thought they were real
Round
people.
and round.
Wow, you really
exactly.
don't
You don't
understand
understand.
your argument, do you?
You don't understand
I
anything
do.
I'm saying.
When it
Frankly,
stops, nobody
Brad,
knows.
I really do understand your argument. You lose coherence every 10 or 15 minutes or
If-
so.
Our Creator
If
planned.
someone doesn't agree
Plan.
with you, it doesn't mean they don't understand what you're saying. This mantra
Our-
I hear from Scientologists all the time insisting that the reason why I don't accept Scientology is because I don't understand it. I freaking understand it. I think it's horseshit.
Our
Does
creator's
it
only
logically make
13.
any sense to continue this conversation? Does it
Our
logically make any sense to anybody now?
No.
our creator.
No, it doesn't,
our
bro, John.
creator- Listen, our creator
It really-
created all abortions. He created all the wars. He created all abortions, all the deaths, all the accidents, everything that's ever happened.
So
in
what
this
is the
world,
point
he
of you
created.
coming in here and telling us this? I'm going to keep asking you that until you give me a reason why this is relevant to any of us.
So that
he
we
already
will all
answered that,
know
Jay.
that our creator's a dick.
Well, I figured that.
He already
Talking to
answered
you,
that. There is no
lot of
point. This
Well,
is
there
all
is
part
no
of the
point.
play.
Okay, that's fine.
This is all part of it.
After I reveal this
No, but
information,
he admitted that.
a lot of people get pissed off at our creator. Many people I've
Brad,
talked to.
there's
Your
no
creator
revealing
doesn't exist,
information.
Brad.
There's no
So-
way for us or even yourself to tell the difference between
I
somebody
know
who's an actor in the play and telling any kind of quote unquote truth, even though you say that everybody's deceived and everybody knows the truth at the same time. You've said both of those things. You've said that you've seen outside the matrix, but yet everybody is within the matrix and can only see the matrix. You're.
He
I mean,
also said
it's
he
just.
can't describe what's outside either.
Hey, I just
That's
want to
right.
know. I just want to know when the book's coming out.
Mhm.
Yeah, when's the book coming out, Brad?
See
Well, that won't
David
be-
I.
It'll just get distorted by people anyway, right away, instantly. Everything I've written is twisted.
Oh, the wounded martyr
No,
syndrome.
I
That's
can't-
good.
No, everything that was written by the saints earlier were all twisted and distorted by men who hated knowing the fact that they weren't real.
Have you read the
So
work
I'm
of
not
David
real
I?
and you're not real. Is that what you're saying now?
None of us are made out of real matter, no.
Okay, so if
We're
I
not made
came
out
and
of
took a
artificial
knife
matter.
and cut your arm off, you wouldn't feel it?
No, he would
Oh,
still
sure.
feel it because he's part of this matrix.
I'm part of the matrix. I'm in the
But it doesn't
this
matter,
body.
'cause
I'm of this world.
But you just said we're not real.
All
real,
the
non-real
laws,
things don't
all the
feel
laws, all the laws that govern the physical, the visible things that we see are real to us, but it's all an illusion. Like gravity, for example. In the next age, next part of his program, gravity won't exist in the way we think of it in this age. We
And
won't
how do you
have.
know that?
We'll be floating and flying and doing all kinds of stuff.
Oh, and how do you know that?
Our illusions, walking through each other, whatever, all that stuff will be possible because we won't. The laws that define this simulation, this part of the simulation, won't be there.
Just hang
Won't
on a
exist.
second. Hang on. Now, your creators told you all this thing and given you a purpose to
he's
go.
let me
Hang
all
on.
this-
Hang on.
He's taught me. Yes.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Your creator's given you this stuff, all this information, and this purpose to go and tell everybody. Did he tell you why it matters that we know about this stuff? Why do you have to do what you do? Did he give you that reason?
Yeah.
Oh, and what's that?
So Brad can feel special.
Well, I'm used to testify, get this knowledge acquired before I'm killed, and then this
Then why would
knowledge.
anybody kill you over this bullshit?
Oh, you wouldn't believe how upset the people are around here.
Who?
The first
Who's
day,
upset? Who's
the-
upset with you?
Christians.
Yeah. that
Why
makes
would they
more
be upset
sense.
with you? They'd laugh you out of the,
The
circus.
Because
first
they
day
get
I
offended
stood-
because he's
the
countering what they're
first-
saying.
The first day I stood in front of the church, they called the police on me.
And
Okay,
for
they were
what reason?
furious.
Oh, well, they called the police on him because he was standing in front of a church badgering people.
Over one message. No, I wasn't. I didn't
What
speak a
message
word.
were you preaching?
One message. Well, here.
Hang
Well,
on,
you
I
didn't
want to
say a
hear
word,
this.
then
What,
maybe it
what
was
were
for
you preaching
loitering.
when they called the police?
What did the
Look up,
sign say?
look up God's whiteboard messages. Google it.
Say?
God's whiteboard messages. I got about 1,100 messages written on there that I've used over the last 4.5 years. And you'll see
And
why
what
some
specifically
religious
were you
people
saying
get
when they
upset.
called the police?
What? Yeah.
Oh,
What
I
was,
don't know which one it was.
Wait,
Well, surely they must have given you a reason why they called you out of the church.
Well, yeah, they were upset at the message.
And what was the message? That's what I'm asking. What were
I
you
can't
preaching?
remember. I can't
Why
remember
not?
which
Your
Well,
God,
look-
you mean your God isn't good enough
Look-
to keep that as
look
part
up-
of your programming?
Look up God's whiteboard
I
messages.
got no
hang
time
on,
to
though.
look up your
Please,
horse
please,
shit.
please. Hang
Are
on,
we
hang on, hang
reinforcing
on.
reality? Are we reinforcing reality?
Hang on, we have a little bit of a problem here. Because you stated a moment ago that you went to the church, but that you didn't say anything. But now you're saying that they called the police because they had a problem with the message. So were you imparting a message or not? You've kind of contradicted yourself on that.
I wrote a message on a whiteboard that I carry around every day. Okay? I write a
Here,
different message.
I'll read.
I write a different
I'll read
message
some
on
of
there
them
every day.
I can
Right,
read some of them out. Truth isn't found in the Bible. The Bible is not a teacher. Christianity and crime will end soon. Teasing is important to false prophets. God will smash all authority on earth. Christians disobey God's commands. Those are some of the messages.
Yeah, I wonder why the Christians would want you arrested.
Well, writing something
Does
on
that
the
sound
board
familiar
is
to you,
equivalent to
That's
speech.
the same way the religious Jews killed all.
However, I suspect they weren't wanting you
Can we
arrested.
have Brad confirm that those are the messages?
Yes.
I would
There's
suspect that they
there's
weren't.
probably 1,100 of them. And
I would
Okay, so
suspect that
you
they
go-
weren't having you arrested for hate speech, or I would suspect that they were having you taken away for other reasons.
my
That's
sign
just a
today.
thought.
I wrote a sign while I was talking to you guys today. It says
Can you show
we
us?
are living in a simulation, and I have to walk around town like that.
You know those movies were years ago. You know, The Matrix, that was a movie.
Oh, this is about everything. All my messages are about everything.
No,
it's not just
they're about your little world and your little
No,
mind.
you
They have
are-
nothing to do with
you-
reality.
You
I
don't
hate
have
to
any
break it
knowledge.
to you.
You're full of fear.
I am not in fear of anything.
Oh, yes, you are.
I
That's why
think he
you're
might be
rejecting it.
I think he might be full of aggravation, but I'm not sensing fear here.
Oh,
What am
there's
I
this
afraid
fear
of,
cause-
Brad?
fear
Tell me, you
causes
know
aggravation.
everything. What am I afraid of?
Fear causes aggravation.
That's
What? Oh,
incorrect.
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Frustration with idiots makes me
Lack of
aggravated.
knowledge. Lack of knowledge causes fear.
Lack of knowledge causes fear. And what knowledge have you
Yes.
imparted that I should grab onto?
Well,
You
Wow,
haven't proven
you're-
anything yet.
You're rejecting it. No, you're rejecting
No,
it
you
all.
haven't proven anything yet. You've asserted a whole bunch of
Oh,
bullshit.
you need
but
evidence
you haven't
because of your
proven
fears.
anything except
need
that
evidence.
you write for the Creator.
You're full of fear. You need evidence
I
to
am
support.
not afraid of anything, especially
Oh, yes,
not
you are.
you.
A lot of fear.
Brad,
Full of
Yeah,
fear.
that's
Brad.
it, Brad. Just keep going on and on and on.
Well, lack
Hey,
of
Brad.
knowledge
Keep
causes
believing
fear.
your own
Lack,
delusion.
lack of
Brad.
knowledge. Lack
Brad,
of
there
breaking-
are many
causes
things that
fear.
cause fear. Lack of knowledge
That's
in
right.
some cases can cause fear, but that is not the sole cause of fear, so pretending that it is kind of disingenuous to say the least.
No,
Not
it's
only
much-
that,
it's
but
true.
you're
It's
breaking
lack-
your own commandment, man. Remember when you were hounding everybody about projecting onto others?
Yeah.
Well, you're projecting onto James right now.
Thanks, Dex.
Who said that? What law was that?
It was something
You
that
said
stated
that.
earlier, apparently.
Our creator
You
can say
have
anything
on
he wants.
multiple
And
occasions.
your
Our-
Creator is also a liar.
Our
You've
creator,
said that.
our creator can say anything he wants to insinuate.
That's
his
right, and your
people.
Creator is a liar according to you.
No, according
Yeah,
to you.
you said
No,
it. You
according
said
to
it.
you. No,
No,
according to
you
you.
said it.
No, I
Actually,
said-
I'm
I
going to
said-
be pedantic for
I
a
said
moment.
he-
Technically, he said he's a deceiver, not a liar.
I said he's the deceiver because of the world that he created
So
for us to
how
live
do
in.
you know he's not deceiving you?
No, the world, everybody in the world thought they were real.
I asked you a
Thought this-
question.
They thought this world was true. So they were being
I
lied.
asked, stop
They were
preaching.
being,
I asked
they
you
were
a
being,
question.
They were being lied to by what they were observing. Okay? They did not know the truth.
I asked you a question.
What did our Creator say? He said, listen
I
to my
asked
voice
you a
and
question.
obey my commandments.
Brad,
I asked you a question. If your
Go ahead,
God
James.
is a God of deception, how do you know that he's not deceiving you?
Because I
That is-
speak for him.
Because you speak for him,
I
but
speak
he's a
for him.
deceiver.
So if
No.
he's a deceiver, there's no reason to think that the words that you speak are not intended to deceive by this creator.
You haven't listened to anything I've said.
I've
You-
listened to every
you-
word you've said, and
No,
stop being such a condescending
You
shit.
twisted everything.
No,
You
I've
twisted
listened
it.
to you, and I speak it
I-
back verbatim, and you
told you
hate
there was-
that.
I told you there was
Actually,
three.
What
three
he's
sets-
what
there's
he's
three-
doing is not disregarding your words.
I-
He's
I
following
told
them to
you-
their logical conclusion. There's a difference there.
I told you there's three sets of thoughts that come into this. There's two sets that set up this world. Okay?
Stop preaching. Have a discussion.
We've heard it all before, and the only question on the table, the only question I think should be on the table, is why ought we believe a single word that comes out of your mouth when you have yourself said that A, we're all programmed to do what we were programmed to do, B, we know, right? So B, so there's 3 points here. One is we're all programmed to do what we were programmed to do. Two is that your God is known as a known deceiver, so we could be deceived by you. And three, that is that we both know all the truth and cannot know all the truth at the same time. So
it's a rough situation.
why ought,
isn't it for you?
so why ought we believe you? We
The
don't
problem
care what
isn't
you
with us.
say unless you explain that.
You weren't. Okay. You weren't chosen to listen.
So
and
Joseph
believe.
Well, that's
Smith
the point
chose
I made.
Why ought I believe what you just said?
You don't have to.
Hang on, you
I never
weren't.
said-
Right.
Did I ever
Then
say
weren't.
that to?
Hang on, let
Did
me
I
get
ever
this
say
straight.
you had to believe him? Did you
Let
ever
me
have
just make sure I have this
Huh?
straight. You're saying it's because he wasn't chosen to
What you
listen to somebody that's a known deceiver. So you're the receiver of the deceiver, and this is why we
Well,
should listen.
if you are chosen to listen, you will hear. You will know that it's coming directly
If
from
God
the
is
It
the
sounds a lot like
deceiver,
my
if
sheep
God
will
is
hear
the
my voice.
deceiver, if
You
God
will-
is the deceiver, why would I want to be chosen?
You will hear the thoughts. You will hear the thoughts that straightens out everything that you believed in
But this
prior
is
to.
what you were
Yes.
saying.
From
Brad,
a
this is what I
source as a
said to you
deceiver.
earlier. This is pointless.
Once, if you listen to
Simulations,
the,
please
if you
move
listen
on.
to,
Simulations, please move on. Next screen,
listen-
please. Next
you
screen.
listen, you
Simulations,
listen
please move
you
on.
listen to his voice.
Follow
You'll be
the
talking.
orange arrows.
And
Can I
the
ask Brad a
Bible.
question, please?
Go ahead,
Can
Sugar.
I ask Brad a question? Hey, Brad, do you ever take that sign anywhere near the prune yard?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time over there. Are you from
Yeah,
around here?
Yeah, I actually grew up out there, and I used to live. My first apartment was in Campbell, as a matter of fact, right there.
You want to meet
actually,
there someday? Would you like
well,
to
I'm
meet me
wondering-
someday?
Well, I'm wondering where you normally, hang out and stuff. I mean, do you someplace
Trader
you-
Joe's. I go in there, I get food to eat, and then I go out and I got a guitar, so sometimes I sit out there on a bench and play guitar, and have conversations with people that come by. I got friends all over town now because of what I know.
Hey, does Campbell PD still have that one police officer that's also a reverend? He's a preacher. He's got to be really old by now.
I don't know. No, I can't. I don't know them personally.
Okay.
They know of
And
me,
you
though.
said Yeah.
I'm going to
You
cut in
said
for
you-
1 moment.
Some
Please,
of them
somebody
like my
make
times.
somebody please set heretic. Thank you. Never mind.
Anyway, if you want to get in connection with me, just look for the guy walking around with a whiteboard with a
Whiteboard.
message.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Are you down at Trader Joe's at a particular time?
Usually around noon. Certain most times. If you want to meet me there, just ask.
I'm
You
going
can
to
go
try.
to Trader Joe's and ask for Brad, and they'll know who I am.
Okay, cool. Thank you,
Okay,
Brad.
Okay.
Appreciate you coming in.
What's your name?
My name's Sugar.
Sugar. Okay. Hope to see you someday.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so.
What do you play on the guitar, Brad?
What?
What do you play on the guitar? What do you like?
Different types, blues and country and stuff, old rock and roll. I played in band groups when I was younger. Yeah. That's when I was young. I was in my teens, and then I got in a group when I was late 20s. So it's been 30 some years ago since I played in a band, but I still like playing guitar. But anyway, I've done a lot of things in my life.
There's a few groups out here that there's a St. Brucifer has a group of guitarists, and they all get together and jam.
Oh, really? Well, I play with some friends on Wednesday mornings outside of the Orchard Valley Coffee Shop, and then downtown Campbell. And then I also play with a couple of Christian guys that they don't like my messages most of the time, but they accept me as a friend, and I play with them. So, yeah, I have some guys I play with, but mostly alone. I just like playing guitar, so that's what I do.
I'm glad you have a hobby. We all need a hobby.
Oh, I have. I
So
got
would it be fair to say
grandchildren,
that you prefer to
too. I
play
got a
with
bunch of
yourself?
grandchildren. Huh?
So it'd be fair to say that you prefer to play by yourself then?
Oh boy.
No, it's fun to play. It's fun to play with others too. But when I play for myself, I've for 30 years I've been playing music for myself, and I'm finally enjoying what I'm playing, what comes out of me. Most musicians will find that do that learn a lot of different things, be able to
So
go beyond what they know.
So quote of the day is that Brad enjoys what comes out of himself when he plays with himself. Got it.
Hey, so do I. So do I.
Don't we all?
I don't think anyone can be blamed for that, really.
You know, I got a lot of friends out there. They ridicule me once in a while, but most of them are pretty good friends. A lot of them are atheists. Some of them are Christian. Some of them are
We all
Muslims,
ridicule
Islam.
each other a lot.
Yeah, that's right. You got to have a sense of humor, and I understand that. And I have no problem with that.
In terms of that ridicule, Brad, in terms of that ridicule, what's your end game? What are you trying to achieve?
I'm
What
just
do you
doing.
want?
I'm just doing what was planned
Out
for me
of
to do. All I'm doing is going according to the plan. That's all. That's it.
Walking your path, right?
but the plan, the end game of the plan is
When you
the
look
end
back,
game of the plan is we all die, isn't it?
you don't control your future. It just comes to you, and whatever I'm doing is what I'm supposed to be doing.
But
I
you
don't.
can control your present, though. You can choose that.
Oh, really?
You've already said that you can control.
Well, I can use
Yeah,
many of them.
you already said that. I mean,
You know what the present I did?
You can choose what you do. You can choose what you do because we do, because we've got free will. And the end game is that actually there isn't an end game because we all die and we never remember what it was in the previous life. Are you saying that in the new simulation that will be started up by the so-called gamer creator, are you saying that you would understand what your previous was, or are you saying that you will have a higher level? Is it a bit of
Well,
is it like it's not karma, is it? It's not karma. It's what is it when people come back as a horse rather than a slug?
Well, the consciousness that make you self-aware.
That is karma.
The consciousness that make you self-aware. Okay, that will continue on. So when you wake up in a dream, for example, at night, that conscious level, that conscious you is in that dream, but you don't remember what going to bed that night. You wake up in a dream.
I'm not talking about that, though. I'm not talking about that.
It's going to be similar.
Talking about the destruction. I'm talking about the destruction of the current world, which you have said is going to come.
Which is coming,
a few weeks after you die, after you get killed.
I don't know when it's going to come. Sometime after I'm killed, yeah.
Oh, okay. That must have been something that I misinterpreted yesterday or whatever.
Most people misinterpret.
Eventually, and time is irrelevant.
Hard to remember everything.
Time is irrelevant, and everybody's going to die, and nobody will remember anything. But we'll all come back, and we'll all be able to speak to the Creator, or we'll all speak in the same tongue, won't we?
We're going to speak in one language.
And I'm just wondering, what's the point? I mean,
high frequency too.
It all sounds a bit like Call of Duty. I can go around shooting anyone that I like, then I'll come back. I just press F again or something for a refresh.
It's all about rebooting. Right? There's no
Brad,
real
how do you
end.
get to?
Yeah.
How are you talking with us? Did you say you were homeless? How is it that you're?
I had to sell everything I owned, and I had to quit working in this world.
No, I mean, how are you able? I mean, where are you that you're able to speak to us?
Right now I'm in Starbucks down here off of
that's right. Okay.
Campbell Avenue. You know where the right stuff is, and Kirkwood Platz.
And you and Homo got to get together.
Yeah.
Seems like a nice person. Yeah, most people are.
He is a good
guy. When I go on one-on-one people, they melt. They realize I'm not hurting them or anything like that. So.
Well, believe it or not, all of these guys in here are really good guys.
I can tell. I know they are. It's frustrating.
Except for me, I'm a horrible person, but I like it that way.
I don't think so.
I got some atheist friends.
Brad, we know. Brad, we know that you're not hurting us, and you wouldn't hurt us. There's nothing there. I mean, this is just a talk.
Yes,
shot basically.
Yeah, I know that.
And we come from one point of view, and you come from another point of view.
That's right.
And it's and I can't comprehend where you're coming from because I don't see reality in it, and you can't. Well, I don't know what it is that you see, but you believe that we should follow you, or believe what you're saying, or come to some kind of agreement.
I don't believe that at all.
What you're saying, and
no.
What is the end game? I mean, why proselytize? Why bother? Why do any of this? You know what the result is. You know what it's going to be, and it doesn't matter whether anyone else knows.
Well, I think this is just good practice for me too to experience.
For what?
Different. Well, listen. I was invited in here. I didn't intrude on you. I was invited.
You're missing the point of my question.
No.
I wasn't trying to be rude.
I was invited in here.
So what is the point of you learning to do anything if you're following a program already? There's no point in you improving or getting better or anything if all we are is designed and set in motion by a program? What's the point of any of this?
Because our creator can do it. He said he has a technology to
So
make
in other
it
words,
happen.
he's
That's-
playing with
that's
us.
all.
He's Loki.
Yeah, it's a game.
He's
This is a
Loki,
game.
the jester god.
This is a game.
It's a
This is
game
a
to
game.
your, then your creator is an asshole.
No, there could no. Watch this. There could be many, many, many people involved in each controlling each character in the simulation. I don't know that.
But if there's
Are there other games going on that we are unaware of?
There's a possibility that there's people that have a number of people that they're controlling, and we're just doing as they have us do. You know what I mean? Just like we do with a Sims simulation game, the Sims City, or whatever they call it.
I've never played the game, so I don't know anything about that reference. I only played
it one time.
I don't play video
I used to
games.
play it. It was
Did
fun.
you?
Yeah. Build your own cities and control.
Yeah. But you're the god. You're in God.
You're
in God.
Yeah,
You're in control. Yeah. You're in control of the characters.
Actually, no, you're not actually in control of the characters. The computer does that on its own. In
but you
SimCity,
set
you
it
don't.
up.
In SimCity, all you do is create the structures. The characters, so to speak, the people there aren't really characters. They don't really interact with anything per se. They just follow scripted paths walking around, but you don't actually have control over any of the people individually. None. Now, The Sims is different, but SimCity, on the other hand, no, what you're building is a city, and it has people that it automates them wandering around and whatever, but there is no actual control over them.
Right, in SimCity, no. But I think the more advanced ones, they gave you control over certain characters.
Yeah,
Control, quote-unquote control.
Not in SimCity, though, no.
There are. I know my kids used to play games like Age of Empires, where you create armies and stuff, where you can tell them to go over there and do stuff. So I mean, it's
a different kind of game than something like SimCity.
It's a different kind of a game.
Yeah.
In Men in Black, there was a guy who was in a coffee shop or something, and they opened his head, they opened his face, and there was a golf ball-sized galaxy inside his mind. And as such, there could be billions of galaxies. It's just that we've all got one inside of our heads, and it's called our brains. Well, that's what we call it anyway, but they could just be galaxies, of which each one of them could be its own simulation. So how do you know you're not being played by this gamer then, Brad? How do you know that you're not a...
I am being played. I'm a character, I'm a character that he's using to teach us, at least he taught me what's going on. And then I just share that with characters. I
think you've misinterpreted my word "gamed," played. I think you've misinterpreted played.
It's played out.
Because right, but I'm saying played as in.
No, I know what you meant.
You don't actually have any information, because actually, if the creator gave anybody any information, then they'd start understanding it and possibly start being able to develop things, because we're actually very intelligent as human beings, and we've actually developed the same. We've developed the Matrix,
and that
we've developed all this stuff, and we're coming very close to the idea that actually we're getting close to being creators ourselves, and the idea that the creator would give anybody the ability to talk on their behalf and to tell everybody exactly what the real game is, when it's a game being controlled by a creator and they want to maintain control, just seems rather far-fetched. And
well,
so how
normally,
do you know that you're not being played?
Well, normally when somebody presents this kind of actual dogma, the whole notion of trying to tell other people is to try to wake them up so they can act independently of the Matrix, but that's not what's being posited here, which is, to me, what's confusing.
Yeah, I know it's difficult to understand.
May I point out one thing? It's a gamer, and it's a deceiver. I'm fairly sure it's Sarkeesian. Sorry, I had to say it.
I played Doom for a year, and then after a year, my son gave me the cheat codes so I could go into the higher levels. It took me a year just to get up to the next level.
But that's the thing is normally when somebody pitches this dogma, having this knowledge is the cheat code or something like that, basically. And
Yeah, yeah.
that's
I
not
thought
what's
you
being
did,
proposed here. But
I didn't get any cheat codes from our creator. None
What
at
a
all.
gem.
we should go back and ask.
No, you wouldn't. Not from her.
But I do get visions and dreams. I've gotten. He's taught me how he formed the earth. Taught me how he's going to end it. I've seen so many.
How did he form the earth? Tell us.
The way he had me observe it was just a little ball of heat, like fire heat, and then it just formed with all. It was like a ball of fire. And
You do know that
and then,
there's molten iron at the center of the earth, right?
yeah. Well, yes, of course. And then there's of course the rocks that churn in there. This is the illusion, okay?
This is an illusion.
There is no such thing as a real Earth. But it's an illusion. Yes, it is for sure. So the Earth was formed then out of all these what we call minerals and water and all that. Well, the water dissipated off the Earth as it was being formed, the water molecules, and then of course that formed a barrier from the sun and the lights, the perception of light, and frozen ice crystals actually cause that light to be like 7 times brighter. So the whole Earth was illuminated all at the same time before
That's
a flood
impossible.
occurred. No, it didn't. When I was living in North Dakota, we had frost a lot of times. We had these old pane windows.
I live north of you.
Okay, so you understand when the frost built up on your
and I also understand
window?
that on the other side of the round planet is fucking dark half the day.
Yeah, well, when you refract light, it'll follow the ice crystals. It'll light it up like a light bulb. So anyway, I remember sitting in the living room.
Your creator isn't very bright.
When a car came down the road a half a mile away with just your headlights, when you looked at the light in the refracted through that frost, it was illuminated. It would illuminate the room, and just from a little car light, a headlight, half a mile down the road. And then, of course, the closer it got, the brighter it got in the room. But in a summer day, when there's no frost on there, then you just see this distant headlight that doesn't illuminate the room at all. So I know that frost will magnify the light a lot brighter than what. Okay, so I understand, and not only that, the Earth isn't real.
Please don't use
It's
the
an
word
illusion.
Understand in that sentence.
Okay. The Earth is not something that's real anyway. It's perceived by each one of us observes a portion of it, and your portion, whatever that is what you know. The only way we know it's a bigger Earth is when we share that information.
No, we look at the pictures from space and things like that we've actually gone and taken pictures from the moon, which according to you doesn't exist. So.
If you grew up in a forest.
You've heard it here, folks. We went from flat Earth to no Earth.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, that's what I usually go. When I go and watch those videos, I just tell them that the Earth isn't real anyway. It's whatever you perceive.
Well, then what is the point?
Well, it's just an illusion. It helps you understand the simulation.
Why do you bother telling people?
Helps to understand the simulation. A lot of people are curious.
Yeah, but if all this is frustrating everybody that you talk to and gets people angry enough to get you arrested, don't you think that it is all irrelevant and all an illusion? And why don't you just keep it to yourself, get a job, and just live? Like why do you torment yourself? Because your creator wants you to torment yourself.
It's part of the program. I keep doing this until. No, it's not.
If there's no point, then you're wasting your life because nobody's listening to you.
Yeah, the angry people like yourself are the ones that have me killed. Yes, you are. I can tell.
No, I'm not. Sorry, I'm not. You can keep telling yourself that, but I'm not.
I can hear it.
Oh, well, I'm glad you can. Clearly, your creator is telling you things that aren't true.
So anyway, That's what happens. And so the first day I was out there in front of the church, they called the police, and the police came to me and told me I had all the right in the world to stand on the sidewalk
Yes,
all
you
day
do.
long if I want, and say anything I want on that whiteboard. So that's what I've been doing every Sunday. I did that every Sunday for about 3.5 years. This past year I've been
No,
missing
you're
some.
right, bro.
But oh yeah, I've had them come out. One guy came out and told me that the pastors and the elders are planning on getting rid of me. And one of them told me, he said, if you would have tried to do this 30 years ago, you wouldn't be here, which was a threat. So they don't want me there, and I know that's the group that's going to hire somebody to get rid of me.
Okay.
Wait, I
There's
just
a lot of gang members that live around that area and actually go to the church there to score
what
on
exactly are you doing
women.
in front of this church?
Every Sunday morning, I stand out there with one of my messages. Okay.
What kind of
And,
messages are we talking about here?
Well, somebody looked them up. Google God's whiteboard messages, and you'll find them. I have about 1,100 messages on there that I've written in the past.
Can you just like give me a couple examples? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. The one today is, we are living in a simulation. And then whoever catches, so I'll catch somebody's eye today, and they'll come in and talk to me about it. Somebody that believes we're living in.
Believe me, they're not coming to look to talk to you about your message. That's
Oh, yes.
No.
Yeah, well, it's curious. It's curiosity. It's like an advertisement.
No, I think it's probably sympathy.
Oh man, you're way off. For you maybe, but you when you say we, don't say we.
This is my part in the play.
Okay.
So
Watch
you can't disparage me.
When you say we,
would you listen? Would you listen?
You only
to me?
have one perspective.
Would you listen to me? If this is my part in your God's play, you can't disparage me. You can't contradict me. You can't tell me I'm right or wrong. You can't mock me. You can't condescend me anymore because I'm doing what your Creator has told me to do. So
that's right.
So you can't go
and
around.
I can irritate you with knowledge.
You're not irritating me with knowledge. You don't have anything.
Watch this, and that's how I'm going to get.
You don't have anything that anybody can call knowledge except yourself.
That's how I'm going to get blown away because people hate the knowledge I share.
Oh, yeah, the paranoia goes along with some of those other things you were talking about.
No, I'm not paranoid at all. I just know that what's going to happen.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Oh yes, I do. I know exactly what's going to happen.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I know exactly.
Sorry, you don't. If you knew what was going to happen, you wouldn't have come in here and talked to me today.
No, I know what's going to happen.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I already know that people like yourself are going to be surrounding me.
Like me?
Many
what the hell
people.
do you think I am?
Many people.
Why would I have anything to do with you?
You reject the knowledge that I share.
No, I reject the lunacy that you call knowledge.
No, you reject the knowledge that I share.
No, I reject the lunacy that you share. It's not knowledge. We are not a computer game. You might think we are, but like you've been told, the Matrix was in the 90s. Like, grow up a little bit. There's that mocking theistic laugh that
our creator just uses that.
Your creator, by your own definition, is a deceiver. Your creator, by your definition and by your words, is a deceiver.
Yeah, by the world that you perceive as real.
No.
That's how he deceived you.
By your words, your creator is a deceiver, and that's right. All I need to know.
He deceived you with the world that you believed was real.
So why would I have it? Why would I care what you think about this? Because
if you listen to his voice, he'll straighten that out for you and teach you what.
He's a liar. He just said he's a liar.
No. You didn't.
No, deceiving and lying are the same thing.
No, it's not.
Go read a dictionary.
Not the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
That's dictionary words come from man.
Okay.
Come from the beast.
Oh, you're so full of yourself.
Okay, the world that you perceived as being real is what deceived you, and our Creator created that.
Yeah, okay.
Our Creator created this simulation.
Yeah. You still haven't proven this Creator exists, other than in your own world, in your own head.
It doesn't matter to me what you believe.
No, actually, it should matter to you what it matters.
No, it doesn't.
If you continue, would you let me talk? Man, you're rude. Holy smoke. If I start a sentence, it means I have a thought. There you go, cutting me off again. Are you going to listen to what I say, or you just want to start talking when I keep talking?
I know what you're saying. I hear
Very,
him.
very typical theist game, you know.
I hear you.
You know what I'm going to say. Why, did God show you what I'm going to say?
I know. I've heard the argument hundreds of times, thousands of times. Same
You have
argument.
no idea what I'm going to say.
Go ahead and say it. I know.
Your arrogance is overwhelming. Absolutely overwhelming. People
And you're not
aren't
arrogant?
upset with you. No, I'm not, actually. I'm not arrogant at all.
I can see that.
You know. Oh boy, you're so funny. You're one of the most condescending people I've ever heard. You're right up there with Matt Slick.
James, you're so pretty.
You're having a hard time.
So handsome. You're so handsome.
Thanks, sugar. Now that's a cute baby. So,
No,
you want to hear anything, or you just want to assume you know everything I'm going to say?
I know it's difficult coming from your point of view. I understand that.
You have no idea my point of view, because you've never
I was like
listened to
that.
it.
I was like that years ago.
No, you weren't. You were never an atheist.
Yes, I was.
Oh, really?
Yes, I didn't believe in it. I
you
didn't
were
believe
an
in a creator at
atheist.
all.
So why don't
Yeah, I
you
didn't
explain that to me? What's
I
an
didn't believe in a
atheist?
creator.
But that's not all.
One
an
who
atheist-
didn't.
What
One
el-
who didn't
what
believe
else was?
there's
Sorry?
a God. The one that didn't believe in a God or Satan or anything that Christians had to say.
Well, I don't just reject
I had
the
no
Christian
idea
God.
how
I
it came.
reject them all.
In fact, I had an idea that we were all scums of aliens. We were the criminals that aliens brought to this planet to live together. And that explained to me why we're all shooting and killing each other. That was my thought.
Where did you get that thought from?
From the creator.
No. You said
No.
you had this thought when you were an
No,
atheist.
that's what the creator gave me to think back then.
Oh,
before.
so he was talking to you when you were an atheist.
No. I didn't know him, but I know where all thoughts come from now.
Oh, I see. So he was
Back
talking
then
to
I
you.
didn't. Back
So he
then
was
I
talking
didn't know
to you when
him.
you were an atheist.
Back then I didn't know him.
It doesn't
Okay.
matter. You just said he talked to you before you knew
Why do you
him.
keep twisting everything I
Because
say?
I'm explaining.
James, you are totally twisting what he's saying.
Everything you're twisting. Everything.
So you,
Like,
Jeez.
I disagree with Brad's views, but I think that your criticism of it is really bad. Like you're saying that he was saying quite clearly that at the point where he was an atheist, the creator was putting thoughts into his head. And you're saying that he wasn't an atheist at that point. Yes, he was. By his own description.
that's not what I've said.
Well,
That's
you're
not
saying
what I was saying.
the
I
creator
was
talking
saying
when he was an
when
atheist.
he was an atheist.
That is the case. That's what he's.
I was
that's
a-
what
I
he's
was a-
I was
Right.
just clarifying that point, that he was
was an
being
alcoholic.
talked to when he was still an atheist.
Yes.
Is that-
Is there a problem with that?
No, I'm just trying to clarify it, that's all.
Actually, I do have a question that I think is both important and pertinent, which is that you said when this all started being revealed to you, you were an alcoholic. However, God doesn't actually speak to you now directly. At what point after you went away from alcoholism did he last speak to you?
The last time he probably spoke words was a couple of years ago.
Were you still drinking at that time?
No, I haven't touched anything in 36 years.
Oh, 36 years, okay.
No, this is while I'm testifying. He woke me up in the middle of sleep and told me to look at my arm. So I woke up in the middle of the night out of my sleeping bag out at John D. Morgan Park and looked at my arm, and that's when he took me, made my perspective smaller until I started seeing the particles. That's when he started teaching me the quantum levels of what we're made of. And once I got into that vision, I realized that those particles were elusive. I could never reach them. Every time I tried to reach a particle, they break up into more particles. And I could never touch them, never reach them. So he was showing me that those particles aren't something that's real. I was chasing something that isn't there. And so that was about 2 years then before I realized that all this, what we're living in, is a dream. So he used many different things like that to teach me that we came from nothing, nothing from nothing more than his thoughts. And so once I realized that this is all a dream and all an illusion, then he had me start watching videos of physicists talking about quantum mechanics. And when they started using analogies to share their information and what they understood. Some of them were the same, almost identical analogies that the Creator used to teach me quantum mechanics. So I started understanding all these, what they were talking about. But the problem is, I could never get in contact with any of them. I tried to talk to them and tell them that there is a Creator. There is a Creator who created this all. But of course, I'm not one of them. I'm not one of these, you know, I didn't get taught in the universities. I didn't go through the mathematical language that they used or the experimentation that they used to get there. But I do understand what they're talking about. So I found it very fascinating listening to what they had to say. And when they started talking about quantum computing, and one of them was telling that we could make people get into the Sims city game and actually believe, you know, make us believe, this is with computing technology, or quantum computing technology of the future. And we could be in a simulation such as the Sims and not know that we're in a non-real world. We wouldn't understand that we're in a virtual world compared to what, you know, before entering that program. So
Is it somebody on hide, Kevin, please?
Physicists are starting to understand that anything's possible. Anything's possible. And anyway, so all these things are ways that our Creator taught me that we're living in this simulation. So I understand it very well. It's hard for me to teach because I don't have the mathematical language to teach you guys that do know that. You know, I understand the double slit test very well. I understand how that can work. Everything's waves. Our Creator's computing language is vibration. So it's vibrations. One wavelength.
No, here comes the quantum woo horse shit.
Okay. No, really. It's
no,
vibration.
It's not based on vibration. No.
It can't be seen. His computing language cannot be seen by man. It's invisible to man. And that's where the vibrations come from that form. It's information. It's information that he spoke into existence. That's where the program lies. That's where all the characters, all our living experiences comes from that information. So information has to be processed into illusions that we believe are real. And if you look at a tree, that had to be planned. That was very well planned. So are rocks, so is water, so is air, so is the flesh of man, flesh of the beasts. All that was carefully planned before it was put into a simulation.
So in terms of ending the Earth and ending the world, why does the Earth have to shake violently and the hot molten rocks churn up so much heat pressure that it has to be released and everybody is killed by molten fire? Why doesn't he just turn it off and start it again?
Well, this way it's believable. I don't know. It's just the way he planned it. What can I say?
I guess that's what a server reset feels like.
Yeah, a good way to end it. It's a good way to end the story. And just like a simulation game, you get blown up, right? A lot of simulation games you play, you get blown up.
But there's nobody there to actually tell the story to afterwards. So what's the point? You know, at any point he can just flick a switch and just turn it off, and we all just go bang. And then it starts again. So what's the point?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, in the next stage, all us prophets and saints who were used to witness this information, we're going to be the first to wake up in our new bodies in the next simulation.
And what benefit does that have?
Because of our perspective, we all know what came from the mind of our Creator. We will wake up with that perspective, and will be used to see the first visions and dreams, or the first visible objects, and then we'll have to name them. So we have to come up with a language to explain what we see. So our language in the next stage will be more like infrared. It won't be the slow verbal sounds we make with our.
How do you know that?
Yeah, hang on.
Well,
Infrared is
because
not a
you taught-
sound.
Well, no, I know what it is. It's the way we're going to communicate. It's going to be high frequency, but we still
It's
have
going
to
to be
go.
high frequency light.
Well, because to share information faster. Okay, he used analogies like this. Think of, remember in '92 I got my computer.
Infrared is not a vibration. It is not a sound frequency. It is. It's a color.
Well, it's information.
It's a color.
It's processed information though, and it makes us believe in a color. All the lighting is just information. There is no such thing as real light in the simulation. It's all simulated. We can do the same thing on a computer.
Brad, I have a question for you.
Simulate. We can simulate light working in a computer today.
So is it an advancement on the current simulation, or is it a bit of a backward step?
Well, I don't know. He hasn't taught me anything outside the simulation, but we still can think of like, how did he design a tree? Is there a real tree out there somewhere? Are there real people with real flesh, with hard physical matter? I don't know that. He hasn't taught me that. But it's simulated, so there's got to be something out there where he got his information to build a simulation.
Brad, I have a question
There has to
for
be
you.
something out there. You just can't.
Brad?
How can you just dream all this up? Huh?
Brad, I
Go
got
ahead.
a question for you.
Mhm.
Now, I heard you guys talking earlier about cheat codes, and I'm sorry I didn't hear exactly what was going on. Is there or has there ever been any conversation or information about any way to stop it?
I'm sorry. To what?
To stop the
process
simulation.
To stop the simulation.
simulation. Is there any way to do it?
Well, death stops our part of it when our bodies die in this world. Okay.
I understand that, but I mean,
No, I haven't gotten any information to stop this. We don't have no control over the simulation we're in.
but hypothetically, if you started getting messages again, and those messages suggested that you do something that you wouldn't do as a normal human, how would you react to this thing? That would be really disturbing to me.
No, I'm made to speak for him. So now everything I speak comes from the mind of our Creator.
I
He
understand
doesn't.
that.
So whatever he wants you to know, it'll be spoken.
I understand that.
No, I don't know what's going to happen.
So you're not a
tomorrow.
doer. You only have the ability to speak. You don't have the ability to do.
I don't have any creation power. No, I don't create anything.
No.
I don't create my
No.
thoughts.
Maybe I'm not understanding.
Everything I spoke is already planned. And,
I understand that.
Yeah. Okay.
So what I'm asking you is, in the event that you get more information from the Creator, should the Creator ask you to do something that you know is not compatible with the way we handle life down here? What would you do with that information? I mean, suppose he asked you to do something that we all consider heinous.
Well,
It's a big question.
It's a good question. This is interesting because when I first started writing for him, every once in a while he would have me write because everything I wrote was new to me. I never experienced that before. It was
Is it
all
like
new.
automatic writing? Like automatic writing?
Well, no, he just puts the words in my mind. He started out by putting words on the tip of my tongue. So for three writings, I had to take 3 words at a time he put on my tongue and put into Word docs. That's how he trained me to take words from what he was forcing me to take those words and write down. And every time I tried to interject one of my own words, from my own memory, he would stop. He would have me delete it. So then I had to he would have me retype those 3 words. So it was the first 3 writings took a long time because I'm sitting there concentrating on just the 3 words. And then afterwards, he'd have me proofread it for any mistakes. And then after that, he'd have me read the content. And of course, I didn't understand most of it. So he just used parts of it to teach me something he wanted me to know. In fact, a year later, he had me go back to some of those first writings to teach me some deeper things.
Yeah.
So
should he ask you to do something that is something that you wouldn't normally do, or
Well, that's funny because there was times where he had me writing stuff in these forums that I stopped because I didn't dare share that information with somebody, or I thought it was wrong. What he would do is stop me Sometimes he would go right into have me go into the Bible and find a spot, find a sentence that forced me to write down what he wanted me to write down. So I learned that he controlled every single word. So this happened about half a dozen times or so, to the point where I learned that I have to trust every single word that he has me write or speak. I have to do that because that's what he wants me to write.
Sure. Has he ever had you do anything other than speak
against my will, so to speak? So to speak?
Yeah. Has he ever? Other than speaking, has he ever had you do anything like physical, either whether it's doing something?
Put me on the floor. Put me on the floor several times.
Okay.
And in pain and screaming in front of people, very humiliating. So
but I mean, has he ever had you go do something physically, like go here, get this, do that?
Well, I did a lot of things. I had to cook out in John D. Morgan Park for a year and a half, every single day. I fed up to 15, 20 people. Well, I had to. I was forced to do that, yeah.
But why would he do that? What purpose would he have in making you humiliate yourself like that?
I connected to a lot of people through that experience. A lot of people came to me during that experience, and I got a name, more or less, more recognition through that. People started talking to me about me all over town. I had people coming up to me, patting me on the back. Some of them didn't like what I was doing out there because I was attracting homeless people and stuff like that. So it was a mixture of things, a mixture of reasons why I was doing that. Also, as a time I was really learning a lot of stuff, new stuff. I was learning the deeper levels of knowledge, and so it was like a distraction. Cooking for these people was a distraction, temporary distraction, while I went out through my day, because it was tense. There were some times I was learning so much it was really hard to handle, because when you're learning, we're living in a dream. That's hard to swallow when you thought this was reality. I always thought it was reality.
That's why I was asking you. I mean, should the Creator ask you to do something that is really heinous? I mean, how would you? I feel bad for you.
Yeah, I have a bad back. Okay, I developed that when I was working construction, building houses. I had back surgery in 2002. So while I was doing this work out there, hauling food back and forth to the park and stuff, I got to the point where I was in nagging pain. My leg was numb. I had to walk all the way down here. In the mornings, I get up, I go all the way to Starbucks. It's over a mile walk, and I couldn't even hardly feel my leg. I had a lot of pain. I was really, really suffering during that time, and I was wishing he would take this away from me, this ability, and he finally did. So I suffered really bad for about 4 months, and then he finally stopped me from doing that. So it's all controlled. It's all I can see it every day, each day. Is that your baby?
That's my granddaughter. My granddaughter.
Okay. Awesome.
Is there any situation that you think you would ever disobey? That you would refuse?
No, I can't. It's impossible. Impossible. He'll put me in.
Do you see the Creator ever?
I tried to play guitar.
Do you see the Creator ever asking you to do harm to other people?
No. If he had me, no. He's never asked me to go kill people or anything like that, or even hurt them. I never lay a hand on anybody.
Okay.
No. If somebody laid a hand, I've been threatened to get beat up. My life's been threatened, and I just tell them, well, if you do that, you're going to go to prison. That's all I say to them. Yeah. I said, I'll get up and keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah. So I've been threatened.
Has the Creator ever asked you to harm yourself, though, is what I'm asking.
Oh, no, never harm myself. Okay. I take good care of myself.
Good.
I got some crowns that I had a lot of dental work, so I have like 14 or 15 crowns. 2 of them have broken the past year, so I don't have any income. So I went to the dentist with Medi-Cal. They won't pay for crowns. So I went on YouTube and learned how to make my own teeth. So I made my own caps out of plastic what is it called? Thermoplastic polymer, those little beads.
Wow.
You melt them in hot water, you form. So I got teeth now. Yeah, it's just, it's
Wow.
some
That's
things I have
amazing.
to go through. But it was kind of humiliating having no teeth, missing a couple of teeth. I had to suffer that for the last year. And oh yeah, this isn't fun to do. I tell you what, this is not fun to do. Going to sleep when it's 30 degrees, 25 degrees outside, and sleeping in a sleeping bag. It was 30 some degrees here. Not this morning, but yesterday morning. It was chilly. It was frost on the ground, and waking up, and having to get dressed and walk a mile to Starbucks to get a cup of coffee and get online and stuff. It's not easy to do. I'd rather
Yeah.
work
No.
construction and make a living and that kind of stuff. That was easy to me compared to what I'm doing. But
Well, good luck to you. And
well, not only that, I didn't have to face all these cruel people. Sometimes I
I
face
know
some
people can
really.
be awfully mean.
Oh
I
man,
know.
that's
Well,
so.
turn the
So
other cheek,
yeah, that's what I do. I mean, now I used to get in their face a little bit and get a little angry with them, but now I just, there's nothing I can do to help them believe. So I just go on with my day, but I meet several people. I got a lot of friends now, so everywhere I go, I have friends to talk to. Some of them want to get taught deeper things, so I just do whatever I do.
Again, Brad, I'll try
Uh-huh.
and say it. I'll try and say it again a little less aggressively, but
Okay.
there, from what you're saying and like what you just expressed,
Mm-hmm.
there, you wonder why people don't accept what you say, and I'll ask it again. There is really no need for anyone to accept anything you say as having anything to do with reality, because whether we accept it or we don't accept it, the end game is exactly the same. The whole thing is going to be rebooted, and we're going to come back and be completely different. So there is no higher purpose to accept your truth other than it's going to be
Slightly
okay,
faster
so,
respawn time.
yeah,
Correct.
it's like, so
Yeah.
that's why you're getting a lot of pushback, not because people don't think that you're a nice guy or whatever. It's just like there's no end game to which you either get there's something at the end or there's nothing at the end. There's just a reboot, and we do it all over again, and there's no real end purpose to any of it other
That's
than
true.
you're doing what your creator is telling you to do.
That's true. That's right. No, you're right there.
So why do you come and torment yourself like this?
Because
Like, what do you gain by talking to a group of atheists?
I'm forced to do this. There's no free will.
You're forced to do this.
Yeah. Yes.
So you can't choose to go and do
No,
something else.
absolutely not. No.
That's
It's
I
tough.
don't know. I don't know what to say to that. I feel
Tough.
sorry for you.
I know it's tough for you to understand.
No, I understand it. I
Well, then
understand it.
you don't agree with it.
I don't agree with it. There's completely different things, like 13 was saying.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
I actually understand. Actually, when you understand something, you agree.
No, that's wrong.
No, usually that's what it is.
Understanding something and agreeing with it are two completely different concepts.
No.
Yeah, I can understand.
I can use a lot of analogies to help you understand that.
No, I understand. I don't agree with you.
Okay, watch this. There's lots of knowledge, okay, that can be given to you. That can be poured, like you sitting in a classroom, and a teacher can be filling your head with knowledge. It can bypass you. It can just go by you and won't understand anything. So when the teacher asks you, "Do you agree with what I said?" You can lie to her and say, "Yeah, I agree." Well, what do you mean? Do you understand what I said?
So you're saying I'm lying to you now.
Okay. Well, what I'm
That's
just
what
trying
you
to
just said, because I don't agree with
I'm
you.
trying to help you understand that knowledge.
Your
knowledge
analogy was bad.
You have to understand the knowledge. Once you understand the knowledge, then you will agree.
So my not understanding it is what you think is me not agreeing with you.
Right.
So if I understood it, I would just instantly agree with you.
Yes.
I bet you if you asked Arcane the same question, he would say that if I understood his argument, I'd be agreeing with him.
And that's the whole thing is that
Usually it's understanding and understanding between each other. when you
Oh,
understand.
actually, no.
That's
This
a different use of the word.
actually is being pointed out that this is a major flaw. That if you don't agree with me, it means you don't understand. It doesn't mean that there might be a problem or that there might be misinterpretation. Oh, sorry, it's that you simply don't understand. It can't be anything wrong on your end. It's simply they don't understand. Otherwise, they'd obviously disagree if they understood it. Now, somebody can understand what you're saying and not agree with you. It doesn't mean they don't understand.
I understand the claims of ancient alien believers, but I don't agree with them.
Yeah.
Is that a simple enough description
Analogy.
for you?
No, because you haven't talking to any. You're reading that from books written by men who didn't really know that. It's easy to write books.
Okay, let me explain this. Let me do this another way, okay? Because again, it's going to be tough for you to understand what I'm saying because everything to you is an illusion anyhow. So I believe I understand that when I throw something, it's going to fall. Okay, so if you were to say when I throw something, it falls up. Okay, I understand that you're saying when you throw something, it falls up. I disagree with that premise. So,
but if you understood it, you'd agree with it.
I can understand the concept, but I disagree with you. That's what I'm saying. Does that make more sense? Is that do you understanding what I'm trying to say now? I can understand what you're saying and still disagree with you.
You won't understand why it goes up.
It can't go up unless it flies or is propelled. But if
how do you know? In the next life, it might.
I'm not talking about the next life. I don't care about your next life.
We can make it happen in computers.
I don't care. What I'm saying, if I take a ball right now and throw it, it's going to go to the ground. That's going to happen every time I do it. Now, if you were to say, I understand what you're saying and I disagree with you because when I throw a ball, it goes up. Well, I can understand that when you throw that ball, it goes up. I can disagree with you unless you tell me that ball is somehow propelled by something that's making it move up.
Okay.
So I can understand your point, disagree with you, and still have understanding of the point you're trying to make. So please don't tell me I don't understand what you're saying.
I have the knowledge to know why that when you release that ball and why it goes to the ground. I understand.
Perfect.
Now
So
I have
again,
the knowledge.
you missed
I
what I
have
said.
the knowledge to share that with you. But you'd have to understand it to say you'll agree with it.
But you can understand it and still disagree with it.
I don't think so.
And that's where the problem lies.
I don't think you can.
The way you understand words.
To really understand, when it comes from our Creator, to have me understand things, and to get this, there's a lot of knowledge there, that I have to understand.
Arcane,
there's a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of things.
Hang on, I want to talk to Arcane for a second.
And until I really understood
Brad, hang on a second.
There's no way I believe it.
You've had this hangout for 2.5 hours now. Just hang on a minute. Arcane, are you here?
I
think he's hidden. He needs to be unhidden.
Oh, I don't know how to do that.
We have.
The mods are off when the room's off. So
mods should still be available to make him visible if you were given mod.
We confirmed this already. I was trying to do that the last time this came up, and both MK and Brojo had said that somebody else had said that they do go off.
Oh, okay. So they eventually go off then. Okay.
Yeah, when the room goes off, I'll try just one last.
Well, the room's been off for a while. Was off when I was actually shown, so I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't give me the option.
Oh, okay.
Because
the pin is the pin.
Huh?
I'm on the iPad, so it gives me the pin and to block.
Yeah, it doesn't give. That's not enough options.
Yeah.
Because Brad, I can I know enough about what Arcane purports to know that his understanding of knowledge and understanding is gonna probably be something you might even agree with.
Oh, I'm sure.
The whole premise of the precept is that we can't know anything apart from the Creator. So my question to you then becomes is why should I accept that your idea is right and his is wrong when you both come from the same premise?
Yeah, I totally understand. And see, okay, God's going to straighten out all paths with the believers. He chose believers. He gives them enough knowledge to know that He
To what
exists.
purpose? What does it matter if I believe or not? If it's all a simulation?
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Then why do you use those terms as if they mean something special?
Well, it is to the believer. It is to
But it
somebody that's
doesn't make
listening.
any difference. There's no special thing about being a believer or not, because we're all going to be rebooted.
It makes a difference when I run into somebody that they've had this thoughts, this knowledge that they can't share with nobody because everybody thinks they're crazy. Okay? So when I meet them on the street and they start sharing their beliefs with me, and it fits the knowledge that I've shared with them, we become friends right instantly. I've been hugged on the street because of what they believed, and what I come to verify is that belief. I have a lot of knowledge, so whatever it is that our Creator gives them to accept, we become instant friends.
That's awesome. I'm glad you've got people that you can hang out with.
There's lots of from different backgrounds, different religions. I got a lot of atheist friends. I got gamers. I got people that have done LSD and trips and mushrooms and things like that. I've connected to a lot of people that have come to the realization that what we're observing is not their true reality. Like an alcoholic, for example, somebody that's drunk every day and they can't understand why they can't sober up. To them, it doesn't make sense. So when I come along and I help them, I give them some knowledge, some information, it helps them, it frees them up a little bit from their dilemma. And
what is the true reality?
We're living in a simulation.
That doesn't answer the question. What is the point of the simulation? What is the Creator's end game?
Once you really understand that and believe it, all your fears go away because...
Sounds like Christianity to me. Answer the question. What is the Creator's end game?
The end game of this first stage was to teach us who we are. That's it. And who He is, of course. I mean, that He's in control of it.
And that we're living in we are all the creators.
The end game of this first stage was to teach us we're living in a simulation, we're not real people. That's the end game of the first stage. In the next stage, it'll be just experiencing life forever. No more death. We will never experience death in the next stage. That's a promise. It'll go on forever. The simulation will go on forever.
These words were spoken to you or given to you by the God that you describe as a deceiver.
Creator. Our Creator.
And you describe Him as a deceiver. And yet you still expect us to believe you.
He's the one
just using your word.
Actually, let me jump in here for 1 second.
Here's how He does.
The way that Brad's been parsing it out is that He's a deceiver only in that He's letting us believe that reality is reality.
Yeah. That's
so anything that comes into this reality must be part of the deception, or it isn't deceiving at all.
We're born in this deception. We're all born into this.
You didn't answer my question.
Well, let me. If you listen, it'll make more sense. We're born into this.
I've listened to you now for almost 4 hours.
We're born into this simulation. We all believe we're real. We're born in the womb of a mother, man. We came out of that chute. We grow into this being, and this human being. We think it's real. It looks real to us. Man, it's so real looking. That's what deceives us. It's this what we're in deceives us, and it's our Creator who created it. But in order for us to understand that we're living in a simulation, He had to teach us. So He used the first age, this first part of the program, to use prophets and saints to reveal who we really are, what is going on. And then when we finally learn now, because of the technology that He had His characters build, the computer technology, now He has a way of totally teaching us exactly how He created us. That's all that matters.
That didn't answer my question.
Then there's going to be an end to this.
It didn't even come close to answering my question.
Well,
he doesn't see the inconsistencies in his thing either, so you
know. Well, you're trying to get something that
I'm trying to get an answer from you that you aren't understanding the question.
Oh, yes, I understand the question, but it's more too that sometimes I have to give a long answer to get you to understand where I'm coming from.
But
It's not a yes and no answer.
You didn't. I know it's not a yes/no answer, but you didn't address my question.
Yeah, you're trying to figure out why. You're trying to figure out why he had this in the first place, and then it's a simulation, so we just go on. You're wondering why I'm here and doing what I'm doing.
That's not That's nothing even remotely close to what I asked you.
Well, ask it in a different way then, so I understand.
I'll try and ask it even more clear next time. It's like this.
Yeah.
You're saying that we're in a simulation, right?
Yeah.
You're also saying that everything in this simulation is to teach us that we are a simulation, including any revelation that the Creator gives us. Is that, am I close? Am I
well, including the revelations is how he teaches us.
Okay,
yeah.
So, but you've also stated that, say that again, 13, that the deception is,
the deception is that we believe that we are in actual reality as opposed to a simulated reality.
Okay, so any revelation from your Creator into this world has to be a deception because we live in a deception. Is that kind of what you're saying?
No, he uses the prophets and the saints to teach us what this is about.
You missed the question again.
No, I didn't.
I'm asking, is the revelation from your Creator into this version of the simulation deception? Because if we're being deceived into a part of reality, then everything that's communicated to us has to fit into that deception. Thus, the question or any issue that comes forth from your Creator has to work into this deception. Therefore, as you said, your Creator is a deceiver, and anything he communicates is a deception to promulgate his lie.
No, see, you're just setting it up to make him a liar. You're just setting it up yourself.
You said he was a liar.
No, listen.
Did I miss something?
I did not. I never said he was a liar.
Yeah, a deceiver. Sorry, I'll use your term.
He's
even though they're
the
exact same word.
He's the one that created the simulation, and all the characters in the simulation thought they were real. That's what deceived man.
So your Creator put those thoughts of reality into his
He's the one that created all the good and evil. Okay, he's the creator of all the abortions,
that's right.
all the wars, all the nature, everything.
Right. So now stop there. From that point, any communication he puts into this version of the simulation has to comport with his created reality, which is a deception. Therefore, everything he communicates into this reality has to be deception. That's the only way it can work.
For you.
No.
For everybody else.
According to your words, this is how it works.
But now you're twisting it.
No, I'm not.
Because you don't want to believe that he uses saints to teach us what's real.
But you said there's only been one in the past.
Well, wait. I'm sorry. Did you say that he uses science to teach us what's real?
Yeah. He uses the saints. He uses
You said saints, not science. Okay.
Yeah, there's only been two in 1,700 years.
No, there was a bunch of them in the first 300 years.
But you
starting with the first one. Starting with the first one.
Again,
There's
there
many
hasn't
of them.
been one in 1,700 years.
In 1,700 years. There's been
and
1,700
you're the next
years.
one.
Yeah, I'm the last one.
You're the last one.
Yep.
Convenient. You and Joseph Smith.
No, Joseph Smith was a liar. That was set up to... That was set up... Okay. That's part of this world. All religions are part of this world. All religions are based on false gods.
Your revelation is a part of this world, so why are you not a liar?
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not.
If
you're transmitting,
just let me hang on. If you're transmitting your belief into this world so that we can believe, whether you define it that way or not, that's a religion of some sort, and then therefore you're in the same department as all the other ones that you claim are false.
I don't have any belief.
Why is your revelation different?
I don't have to believe anything.
You don't have. You believe a whole bunch of things.
I don't believe in anything.
The Creator talks to you.
I don't believe that. I know it.
You know it.
There's a big difference between knowing and believing. Big difference.
Okay. Define that
Okay.
for me. What does knowledge
Okay.
mean to you?
All right. I think I used the analogy yesterday.
No. Don't use an analogy. Just give me a definition.
I have to.
So
Because
you
you
can't
don't-
define a word and just
Because you
it means
have
this.
to know where I'm coming from, so I use an analogy. Okay? An analogy goes like this. When you let's say you were born next to born from parents who lived next to a forest, and your parents, when you got old enough to start walking around and stuff, they told you there's a monster in the woods to keep you away from there. They were trying to save you from getting lost. Okay, so they teach you there's a monster in the woods. Let's say that's where the truth is, in the woods. The truth is in the woods.
And how does that define knowledge?
Watch. So, the children believe, because of their parents taught them there's a monster in the woods, so they avoid going in the woods. And you know what? Some people never go in the woods because they keep that belief all their life. They don't even want to go in the woods because they're scared because of that belief. No.
What's that got to do with knowledge?
The lack of the truth and lack of the knowledge then to know what's really in the woods keeps them from there. So they fear the woods because of the lack of knowledge. Now, so some children, of course, you know how they are. They were let God, our Creator, leads them into the forest anyway, despite what the parents said. They go into the forest, and wow!
Actually, he doesn't
birds.
lead them at all, based upon your own dogma. They're programmed to do so.
They're programmed. They walk into the woods. Then God, our Creator, leads them in there. They walk in there. They see animals that come up to them, and beautiful birds and flowers, and wow, this is beautiful. Why did my parents tell me not? There's a monster in here.
You ever walked in the forest? You're from North Dakota. You walked in the forest.
I walked in lots. I walked in forests.
And the animals have come up to you and been nice and pleasant to you.
Well, no, I've seen.
It's an analogy. It's not meant to be taken
when
literally.
you go through the forest, when you go through deer hunting, the deer's walking right by you. No, it's just an analogy. Okay.
Yeah, in other words, you can't define what knowledge is.
And you can't understand analogies. I can see that.
No, I understand your analogy. It's just bad.
No.
Define what the word knowledge means.
Okay, belief then comes from the lies of the parents trying to protect them. The belief that there's a monster in the forest. Okay? So they live through life believing there's monsters in the forest. So
to me, that's what your analogy talks about.
Okay, and then our
knowledge.
Yes.
It's about a belief.
Yes. No. No, the knowledge is in the woods. The knowledge is in the forest. You are believing the lies that your parents told you. There's a monster in the book. So your knowledge was there's a monster in the forest.
That's a belief.
Yes.
That's not knowledge. It's a belief.
That's the belief. You
but
believe.
It's not knowledge.
Listen, you believe the knowledge that your parents.
No, I believe the assertions my parents made or the things they told me. It's
Listen.
not knowledge.
Yeah. Okay.
I can look in a book and read a book and learn things.
The knowledge is in the forest. The belief is taught to you by your parents. Just like a book is written by somebody who doesn't know the truth. The book is...
So are you claiming that you're the only one who has truth?
The only one, yes.
You're the only one on the planet that has truth.
Right now, yeah, in this age.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you called me arrogant.
Since the last saint was killed, yeah.
That is amazing.
So, out of curiosity, the people out there that are teaching notions like the holographic universe, etc., they don't have the truth, even though what they're promoting agrees with what you're promoting.
And you know why? Because they don't know our Creator. They've not listened to His voice.
How do you know that they're not? I mean, that's just an assumption on your part.
They don't know Him. They never talk about Him. In fact, most of them talk against Him. Most of them will say, "Oh, this all came into being by evolution or a Big Bang."
Actually, holographic universe, no. Okay. They claim that we're living essentially in a computer simulation, much like you are.
Yeah.
It's sort of like what you're talking about.
Sort of like
it. They don't claim absolute knowledge.
Except, yeah, they don't.
But they do actually assert that there is essentially a programmer that put this into place.
Yeah,
which would be the Creator.
Yeah, that's why some of them are starting to understand that there has to be a creator. Okay, but they don't know him. They're
because you
starting to
say they
get
don't.
no, because of their studies, they come to the conclusion that there must be a designer to this. But they don't know our creator like I do. I've known him for 36 years. He's the one that put me through all this and teaching me this knowledge through this various ways, through my writing, speaking, visions, dreams, analogies that he speaks into my mind.
But yet you are convinced that it's all an illusion.
Incidentally, apparently nobody has mods right now, so sorry,
Okay.
you're SOL.
Everything is.
So
totally.
how can you be certain that you have truth? Hey Darwin, welcome back.
Listen, the truth is our creator and his thoughts.
You missed my question again.
That's what the truth is. That's what the truth is.
But how do you know, if all of this is an illusion, how can you be certain on any level that you are in the truth?
Well, I'm going to die over it. And I've got all the stuff I had to take me through. No,
people have died over wrong beliefs
in
the entire history of humanity.
Well,
how do you know that you are in the truth? How have you got any justification?
Because I have known the creator for 36 years.
But you are in an illusion. You are in a computer simulation, just like the rest of us.
Our creator is outside the simulation, the one that created it all. He's the one that's teaching me the knowledge.
And you've told us that he's a deceiver. How do you know that you have truth?
He's the one that created the simulation that everybody.
I'm not disagreeing with you at this point. I'm asking you.
Why are you
Because you're not explaining how you know you have
Yes, I have.
truth.
Yes, I have, but you don't believe it. It's simple.
But if it's all an illusion,
you don't believe.
Why are you so special?
Don't believe it.
No. It's not that I don't have to believe. You haven't proven anything.
You don't believe it. You need evidence, and most people do. That's why they have science. That's why scientists came into being. They're looking for evidence.
But it's all.
They got taught. Watch this. They got taught. Listen.
Let me ask the question.
You don't even believe we're in a simulation, do you? You don't believe it, do you?
What I believe about right now doesn't matter because it's all an illusion. What I'm asking you. And I really, really want you to listen carefully to what I'm asking. It's the same as the lack of ability to define the word knowledge. How do you know you have the truth? Because I know there are at least two people in this room right now would completely disagree with you and have a really good justification, at least on some level, of why you're completely wrong. But how do you justify your claim that you have the truth?
I'm not wrong at all.
In a simulation with a God who deceives you. How can you claim truth at all?
God doesn't deceive me. I was deceived by the world.
Everybody else on the planet is deceived except you.
That's right, correct.
Perfect. That's all I need to know. I can completely throw your claim out.
And you don't have to believe it.
I reject it outright because.
Okay, there you go. That's fine. Yeah. I don't care. I could care less.
Well, I know. Then why are you in here?
Because I was invited in here by somebody else. Was I invited by you?
No.
I don't know who I was invited by, but I was invited.
invited you, I'm sure.
That's why I'm in here. That's why I'm here. I'm invited.
But again, you're still not answering the question. What's the point of you?
I already gave you the answer.
I
gave you the answers, and you don't believe it. So I can't continue on telling you the same exact thing over and over and over until you believe it.
Well, the problem is that your answers have changed over the last 4 hours.
No.
They have.
You don't believe any of it, so you won't accept it.
I have no reason to believe any of it.
You don't
You're
accept
the only one that can verify your own truth.
You don't understand any of the knowledge I've been teaching you.
I understand. Please
no, you
don't tell me I don't understand the bullshit you're spewing.
Understand anything.
I understand everything you've said, and I still disagree with you. So kiss off on that one. I'm sorry, dude. But if somebody doesn't agree with you, it doesn't mean they don't understand what you're saying.
Oh, really?
For that matter, they might actually understand what you're saying on a technical level better than you do, and still not agree with you.
Oh, you guys don't get it. I'm sorry, but
there's nothing to get. Trust me, there is nothing in your argument worth getting.
Well,
it isn't even a sophisticated argument, quite honestly.
You guys are looking for evidence. Okay?
Yeah.
Aren't you? Are you looking for evidence?
Well, if you're telling me this is an illusion,
I'm looking
you have
for
to prove
consistency
it.
personally.
Yeah, I'm looking for you to be able to say the same things at the end of the discussion that you started with.
You're
So
looking for evidence.
You started the discussion saying this had
We're
nothing
living
to
in
do
a
with
simulation.
Would you let me finish talking, please?
That's what I started with.
You started with this has nothing to do with the Bible, and now all of a sudden it is based on there's stuff in the Bible that's true. You had nothing to do with the biblical God, but yet you use a portion of his.
I never said
plan.
that.
Yes,
I never
you
said
did.
that. No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I
Clearly,
didn't.
you said it.
You twisted it.
No, I didn't.
I said,
you said
I
it.
didn't.
Clearly, you
I
rejected
said,
the whole notion of the Bible and that you had anything to do with it.
Actually,
You,
his
sir,
statement regarding the Bible was that it's been corrupted.
You,
It's been
sir,
corrupted.
are completely
You
dishonest.
are lying, absolutely
no, I'm not.
lying
I'm
about what I
telling
said.
you what you said,
You
and you don't
twisted
like
everything.
it.
You twisted everything I said
No,
to make it your own.
No, I didn't. I
You
repeated
twisted
it back to you,
everything I can
and you
so you
see
can
the
disbelieve.
absurdity of your position.
No, you need to make an excuse for yourself because you don't understand anything I'm
I don't need to make an excuse
saying.
because you have nothing to offer.
You don't
It
understand
doesn't
anything.
matter.
You don't understand anything. I understand because you don't believe
whether
it.
I accept what you say
You
or
don't
not.
understand
There's no
anything.
reason to believe it.
I don't care. Go ahead. Just go your way. You're not here to learn anything.
Well, I've learned that you have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, of course I do. You just don't understand me.
No, please don't tell me that. That utter condescension is ridiculous. You don't make any sense.
You do not understand me.
No, you have nothing to understand.
You know what? I have many people here that understand every word I say. Many people.
You're telling us we live in a simulation, and yet you are.
And you don't know how we're created, and you don't know, and you don't know how that was put together.
Would you let me finish talking? And yet you are the only one who has this revelation and the truth, but you can't back it up other than by saying this creator gave me 2,000 pages worth of stuff to write. That's your justification for your assertion that
I said a lot more than that, but you didn't listen to me.
I listened to everything you said.
You twisted everything I said.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty accurate with what you've been saying so far.
You are misinterpreting everything I said.
No.
You're twisting everything to make it your own.
You're
twisting everything. I'd hate to see you write for me.
Pardon me?
I'd hate to see you write for me. If I spoke to you and you wrote it down,
why would I write
everything
for you?
Would be twisted.
Why would I write for you?
Everything you write down for me would be twisted.
Hey, tell me what I've misrepresented you on.
Everything.
No, that's wrong.
Because you don't believe me.
I have asked you to clarify
Hang on, wait.
To clarify what I've been saying.
Hang on.
You've agreed with it, and now you're telling me that I'm lying.
Please, you haven't agreed with anything. You haven't agreed with anything. Because you don't believe. Because you don't understand. That's why.
You don't understand because you don't believe, or you don't believe because you don't understand. Which one is it? I mean, come on, give me a break.
It's okay. If my parents told me.
Oh, stop with your bloody analogies.
No, it's an analogy. If my parents told me
analogies are worthless.
If my parents told me there was a monster in the woods. Okay.
We've already heard this.
We've heard this one. Go to something new.
I could have went right out into the woods and find out for myself. And that's kind of what I did in my life. I didn't believe crap from people. They told me, oh, alcohol was going to ruin your life. Well, really? Let me try it out. Drugs are going to ruin your life. Okay, let me try it out. Speeding down the highway going 150 miles an hour, you're going to die from it. Well, let me find out. I sped thousands of miles driving down over 100 miles an hour. I got to be a good driver going fast. There's lots of things that I was told I couldn't do or could do.
So
but when I went out there and sought and looked for the knowledge, I learned, and once I understood it, then I could apply that knowledge.
But it's all an illusion.
Oh man, you are twisting everything I said.
No, that's what you've been saying. We're living in a computer simulation.
You're twisting.
None of this is real. That's what you've been saying all afternoon.
Yes, you're right. That's right.
So then you didn't learn anything because it's all an illusion. That's why you can't define the word knowledge, because to you there is no knowledge.
I learned what this is all about from our Creator.
So you're the only one.
I learned that we're living in a simulation. I know for a fact we're living in a simulation.
For a fact.
And it was taught by our Creator, of the simulation. He's the one that taught me.
That nobody else has ever had this revealed to them. Just
Not directly by the Creator, except for the first
Right.
testimony. But they only learned that we came from an invisible realm. They didn't get taught that we were
And
living in a
where is
simulation.
this invisible realm?
Because they did not understand that we're living in a simulation.
Where is this
2,000 years
invisible
ago.
realm? And what's the point of it if we're all in a
You
simulation?
can't see where we came from. I told you.
But if we're all in a simulation, what is
Our
the point of this invisible realm?
Our Creator's computing language cannot be seen by man.
If we
All
are
we see is
from
the
an
all we can
invisible,
see
I
is
will
all
stop.
we can
I'm
see
going
is
to ask you
invisible
one more
illusions.
time. I'm going to ask it one more time. What is the point of this invisible realm?
Boy, you are clueless of what I'm saying.
No,
You're not
you're
understanding
not making any
anything.
sense.
You're not understanding anything I'm saying.
Because you're not making any sense.
Okay,
What
our
is the
Creator-
what is the
our-
invisible realm?
Our Creator had a way of taking his thoughts and using the computing language that he used to make a simulation, to make us characters in a simulation that we cannot observe. We cannot see how he did that.
So
we can
that's
only-
the invisible realm.
We can only be taught that by the Creator of the simulation.
Or you apparently.
It's impossible for us to view the technology and the language and the program that he used to put the simulation together.
Except you have this revelation.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I do.
You got
And
anything, 13?
It's been 1,700 years since anybody's understood any of this stuff. There's
They didn't understand computing back in 1,700 years ago, so I
1700.
doubt these
Didn't
terms
have
were
to-
used
they didn't have-
1,700 years ago.
They didn't have computer technology for our Creator to teach them
The
that we're living in a
same kind of
simulation.
concept has been conveyed before. They just had to use different analogies and different
Not
parallels.
2,000 years ago. They didn't have the technology for this.
That's what I just said. I said they had
Oh,
to
yeah,
use
yeah.
different
Oh.
analogies and different
Oh, I'm
ways
so-
to try to convey
yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm sorry.
You know, like talking about, life is
Yeah.
but a play and we are all the players,
Yes,
Things
yes,
like
yes.
talking about the notion of God being the author of reality.
Yeah.
These kind of things. They just had to use
Yeah.
different language, which
Yes.
is exactly what he was trying to say a second ago.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So we're
Maybe you're not understanding.
well. No, well, he's not. He's just twisting everything I'm saying. I think you're catching on. You're understanding what I'm saying. 'Cause
And
you're
he's
not
agreeing with me.
rejecting. Well, you're not rejecting. You're not.
He's not
belligerent
accepting it.
and
Why don't you ask
you're
him
not
if he's
belligerent.
accepting it?
No, I think
Well,
it's nonsense.
doesn't matter. I know you
Well-
think it's nonsense, but you don't get in my face and just totally arrogant over this stuff.
No, don't you dare use that word with me, sir.
Oh,
I am not the one who's come across as arrogant in this hangout today.
You're showing me this, that you're just refusing. You're rejecting everything I'm sharing. So what?
Because there is no reason for anyone to accept it.
No, I know. You're right, and you're not accepting it.
Because there's
You.
no reason to.
You are not accepting it. When you say we, who are you speaking for?
I'm not accepting it either. So you
There's
can be
two of
speaking
us,
for
so
me.
that's a we.
Okay, there are you and him. Okay,
Okay.
that's fine. There's other people in here.
Yeah,
They may not.
why don't you ask them? I'm pretty sure Darwin won't accept it.
Unfortunately, most of them can't speak at the moment because we can't
that
add them to
sucks.
the hangout. But
Oh, that's right. It's not a live hang. Okay, so you two don't believe what I'm saying. That's fine. I have nothing against you guys for that.
And the biggest problem
certainly
that
I'm
I
not,
have,
I'm not going to
the biggest
reject you
problem I
guys
have
for it.
the biggest problem I've had with anything that you've said today, the real issue comes down to the fact that there's no way anybody can tell you you're wrong, because nothing can convince you that you're wrong. That,
It's
sir,
impossible.
is a very, very tough position to live in.
It's impossible.
Yes, that's a tough place to live.
It's
You
impossible
can't
because
know
I speak.
anything
It's
for certainty.
impossible because I speak the truth. It's
And
impossible.
this is but you, from a God who's a deceptor, like you're saying, like, come on, don't you see the inconsistencies
I
in your
didn't.
story?
No, you
Yes,
twisted
you
it. I
did
didn't.
say your
You-
God is a deceiver of
Yeah,
those
he
who
is-
don't have
he
the
is.
revelation.
Listen,
Whatever.
You twisted it.
that's, okay.
You twisted it. You didn't understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's only saying that we're being deceived in relation to how reality is put together. Now,
Yes.
the thing is, if we're being deceived in that regard, you can go to, well, how can we then know that we're not being deceived in other ways? Or
Thank
that
you.
the way that the
Didn't think I would
messages
have had to say that, but I guess I
or
should
that
have.
the way that any information that he'd try to add into the simulation would be, as part of the simulation, part of the deception, but that's a little bit on an aside anyway. But he's claiming that anything revealed to him directly he knows must be true, as opposed to, being obviously from a source that we know has deceived us in some regards, and not being willing to take it to the extent that we might be deceived in other regards as well. But the thing is, if everything that we've known as reality is a deception, then how could you trust anything from the source would be the first thing that I'd have to say.
Thank you.
No, you're right. You're correct. And that's why he ends this age.
But even more so,
he's going to destroy all this information, so we won't have this to contemplate in the next life.
Well, the other thing, of course, is in the way that you claim that this was revealed to you, there's the high percentage chance that you could have merely misinterpreted because there's a lot of assumptions on your part based upon your own interpretation, and that's a problem too.
Well, no, I didn't assume anything.
Okay, earlier when you gave your story about how this was revealed to you, and you said that you were brought down on what you interpreted as being the quantum level, trying to reach for particles, and the particles kept breaking into smaller particles, and this is how you came to the conclusion that we can't actually grasp reality, that reality is just simulation.
It's elusive, it's elusive.
The thing is, there are many other interpretations you could have gotten from that other than the one that you took.
Well, that's only one little tiny piece of that one little vision I just shared amongst many ways of teaching me. Okay, all the writings,
but here's the thing: is you had this dream experience.
I had dreams and visions.
You had these dream visions, and you interpreted them based upon a bias, and that bias is going to influence everything. Now, even if you were to claim that we are in a simulation, that bias that you have is part of this simulation, and you have that due to the way you were programmed. So at that point, how can we trust anything coming out of your mouth? Because if this is what you're scripted to say, you could be the NPC in the game that's intended to deceive everyone, or to provide false information.
I'm not here to change your belief.
Well, you say that, yet at the same point, that's ultimately what you're trying to do, and you're insisting anyone that doesn't accept what your claim is obviously not understanding you.
That's right. That's all I have to say. I'm sharing knowledge.
Do not see the dishonesty in that position.
Some people believe it, some people don't. Some people totally don't.
And if you don't believe it, you obviously don't understand it.
I have a lot of people I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, I have.
Well, because
how can they believe? How can they believe me if they don't understand? How can they believe if they don't understand?
So the point is for us to believe, which you just said wasn't the point.
It's all about belief.
But you
because
just
there's no
said,
evidence.
But
because there's no evidence.
You just said you weren't trying to make us believers.
I'm not. There's no evidence.
Then stop telling us to believe.
There's no I'm not. There's
yeah,
no
you are. You just did.
No, I'm not. No, I didn't. There's no evidence. There's no evidence that a creator exists. The creator of the simulation we're in. There's no evidence of that.
Except through your revelation.
He used characters in this simulation, okay, because we all thought we were real. He wanted to teach us that we're not actually real people made out of hard physical matter.
Have we taken this back one layer yet?
No.
Okay, because if you draw it back one layer, then if we are simulations created by this character that you're calling God, how do we know that this character called God isn't in yet another simulation?
That's a possibility.
So then he wouldn't be God, he wouldn't actually be the creator either. He would just simply be part of a different simulation.
Well, the voice that I've been listening to and become, okay, it's just information that I share. Okay. Now, he has not taught me who he is or what's he. It could be another simulation. It could be a group of alien scientists, alien to us, who probably are made of hard physical matter, for all I know. We don't know.
If it's a simulation that's telling us...
me anything.
Hang on. But if
Yes.
it's a simulation, a simulated character that's telling us that we are the simulation, couldn't it be that we are the reality and it, in fact, is still a simulation but attempting to confuse those in the actual reality? Or more so, if we are in the kind of situation in which it's the belief in that reality that actually structures the reality, couldn't it be potentially that this thing that is a simulation is trying to insist that we are the simulation so it can supplant us as being the actualized reality and we are merely the simulation?
Well, if you want to go ahead and believe all that, that's fine. It doesn't. If you want to, that's cool. That's a cool
You
way
didn't
to
understand what I
look at
just
things.
said, did you? That's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you want to believe that we're the reality, and that our creator is. We're creating this simulation.
The
We're creating
simulation,
this.
well,
We're creating this creator.
what I was
But you know
saying
what?
is that the
Our
simulation,
this
what I'm saying is
creator
that, what I'm
came to
saying
me
is,
30.
what I
Creator
was
came to me
actually,
36 years ago before they were even really talking about this. 36 years ago, they weren't really even talking about this stuff. I didn't hear nothing of this.
no,
I didn't hear
what I'm
any.
actually, because you're way off script here, Brad. You're way off script.
Okay. Well, I didn't hear.
Because what I was postulating is that who's to say that at some point in the future it was figured out by people that we are somehow actually creating reality, that on some quantum level or whatever the hell we are the authors of reality, all of us working together, etc., etc. But the simulation that was created is trying to, through time, going back in time, trying to convince us that we are the simulation. That way, the actual future simulation can become the actualized reality instead of the reality we're experiencing.
Did you watch the 13th floor?
I don't need to. And no,
Well,
I
that's
haven't.
what you're kind of talking about. But
Haven't
anyway,
done it.
there's other movies
But I mean,
out
the
there
thing is, there are so many different ways you can go about this. That this thing claiming that it is the reality and we are the simulation, it might be the other way around.
Watch it. Okay.
It's simple.
That creator I've known for 36 years, he had me testify. Okay, that's who I know. That's who taught me that we're living in a simulation. Okay. Everybody else learns through science, through other people. You're listening to physicists, scientists, teachers telling you these things. I'm listening to the creator of the simulation who taught
could
me
be
that we're living in a
deceiving you.
simulation.
Who might be deceiving you in much way deceive you by
And
creating
you're not,
the actual.
and you're not trying to deceive me. You
Well,
know the truth. You
I'm
know
actually
the truth, and you're not.
I'm trying to provide a thought exercise, actually.
Well, I think I probably got you thinking. For one thing, you're really trying to defend your beliefs.
No,
And,
actually what I'm saying is that it is possible that a simulation from the future is trying to convince us that the real world is a simulation in order at some point to try to get us to incorporate ourselves into this simulation, claiming that the simulation is actually the reality.
yeah, that movie was
I've heard physicists talk about stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, that movie was called Terminator.
Now,
Oh,
well,
yeah,
you could go that way too, but
Okay,
it's a little bit
Terminator.
hybridized of several different
Yeah,
sci-fi.
I've heard. I've seen and heard all those things. Yeah.
But I mean,
Okay,
this is the thing: is it could be the
okay.
simulation that's trying to convince us
There's
that we are the simulation.
Anything's possible. We know that. We know that from just even computing. with
But
our
if we
computers,
were to enter into
almost
that
anything's
thought
possible.
exercise, the deceiver that you're claiming has put us in a simulation is actually the simulation itself trying to deceive us.
Well,
We're in the reality.
he had prophets speak.
And you just simply bought it.
2 to 3 thousand years ago. He had them write down parts of the information. Okay,
And where is this information now?
it's in the prophecies.
Where?
What prophecies?
It's in the symbolism of the prophecies, biblical prophecies. They lie in there.
Okay, where?
So you're going back to the Bible.
Show me one. Show me one.
I'm going to show you something. When I had to write the story of how this age would end, I had no idea what there was any prophecies about that. Okay? He had me write word for word how this age was going to end. Then he had me go look for prophecies. He guided me to a few, and then I found a bunch of them after I started looking for them. There's all kinds of prophecies that fit that story I had to write for him.
From what you
No.
recounted of it, there really aren't, because
Oh, no,
the
there's
Earth
many.
trembling is just one small aspect.
No.
Hang on,
There's
hang on,
more,
hang on,
way
hang
more.
on. All you cited was that the world is going to end with the Earth trembling. And when you go to the actual prophecies pertaining to the end of the world, that's one small aspect that happens prior to the final end.
You didn't listen to my story. I told you.
I did. You said it was going to end with an ending, and I'm like, dude, that's it?
I wrote about the start of the shaking and the process of what's going to happen, the magma blowing through the crust of the earth, melting everything.
Actually,
Okay,
none of that was mentioned the first time you recounted this. None of that.
Well, because nobody
No,
would listen.
you changed what you said.
Yeah, you didn't
Just
say that
admit
the
it.
first time. You didn't say it the first time. Maybe you miscommunicated. But all you said is
I
that the Earth is
started
going to
talking
shake
about
and
that.
we're going to die within like an hour of that or a few minutes of that.
And I was
That's all
going
you
to tell
said.
you the whole story, and I got interrupted.
By who?
That's usually what happens when I share the message with a group of people that are asking questions, or even one person that asks questions. They won't listen to the whole story. I can go through the steps and tell you exactly what's going on at the end of the 1 hour. In 1 hour, everything will be destroyed on this planet. It's all an illusion anyway, but each person will have a perspective of everything shaking and dying in that perspective. But the magma inside the Earth is getting ready to blow through the crust. And we're sitting on a ticking time bomb, and right before anything explodes, of course, heat, and it starts expanding and rattling, so the vibrating, and that's when we're going to feel the effects of the shaking of the Earth.
Why would your creator destroy humanity in such an awful way that we would all suffer this illusionary suffering that's beyond description if the whole planet just... Why would he do that? What purpose is there of that?
Oh, I don't know what the purpose... Just a nice ending.
That's a nice ending?
Apparently.
Well, disease is a bad ending. Cancer, that's a terrible ending to your life. How about accident and, being...
The thing is, if we're in a simulation...
He created all that. Yeah.
If we're in a simulation, none of those things would be required. All you need to do is hit the reboot button. That's it. It would just be
have no
bang
sensation,
off.
And it would all be gone.
Yeah.
We don't have control. We don't have control of the button there, boys.
Yeah, so the guy in control of the button's a dipstick because he wants to destroy everybody and torture them while he's doing it.
The destruction and blowy uppy bits would have to be programmed in.
Wait a minute. Did he?
They're all programmed in. All accidents are programmed in. Yes.
That would have to be programmed in, so he's not actually resetting it at that point.
Talk.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sugar's trying to talk.
Okay.
Thanks, Brad. Did you say that our consciousness goes back to something else? And then some of the prophets will be recirculated. They'll be the first ones to wake up and see the new language. Is that what you said?
Yeah, those who spoke for him, the so-called prophets and saints, there were so many of us that were used as his voice.
So there is a reward in it for you.
So those people would have some.
We won't remember living in this age at all.
Sure.
We'll just wake up. We'll have a consciousness knowing that we still exist, but we won't know that we came from another world. We won't remember that.
The concept of that soul, that consciousness, whatever you want to call it, would carry the lessons of it, right? I mean, I would assume it has the same ability to progress to enlightenment.
Well, yeah, the prophets and the saints who were enlightened and got to know him, direct. Right. We'll wake up knowing him. So when he starts, we won't be able to communicate right away either. We won't have a language to understand yet.
Right.
So
these consciousness that goes back, does it progress? Is there an end game, not to this world, but is there an enlightenment, like a level that you get to, and then you don't have to come back into this matrix?
Well, we're not learning anything in this age except that who we are. So all the things that the Christians will tell you, we're here because we're here for lessons, life lessons. You got to be good. We got to be good. And then I've heard that
we have a conflict. If we are programs. Yeah. If we are merely programs and we are scripted to do this way, we're not actually learning who we are.
That's
we
right.
can't. We can't
We're not
learn who
learning
we
it.
are because it's already programmed.
So there's a
That's
problem
what
with that assertion right there. Would you like to
That's
try
what
to
I
reframe
said to you
that?
before.
No,
What is
okay,
knowledge and why does it
no,
matter?
okay. Now, in the next age, so the prophets and saints who got to know him, and they said, we're going to wake up in new bodies, and we'll be connected to that because we're connected here in this age. We're connected to him.
Right.
And right,
Is there any benefit?
well, I don't know if there's any benefit. We're all going to have life. We're all going to experience life. He's just going to use us to speak a new language into existence because we're going to have to name the things. He's going to use the visible, okay, the body and the consciousness to start a new language. There has to be a language to explain the illusions. We have to.
So we're just going to go from this illusion to another one.
Yes.
So your God is just crazy.
Oh, you wouldn't believe the crazy stuff we're going to see in the future. We haven't even started living yet.
Who says that's the future? Why does it have to be going forward?
We got
you don't know where it's going to go. It could go send us back 4 billion years. You don't know.
It's all information being processed. So whatever he's promised us a ride like we've never seen before.
So you've got this stuff written down somewhere. What he said he'd give you.
No, I just speak that to people who want to listen to it. Not very many people can go to the future. It's very difficult because if you don't believe what I'm saying, you won't believe the future.
Wow.
So I brought several people. I've probably taken probably about 20 people to the future, and it's a good time.
I feel sorry for those people.
It's an awesome time when I get there.
So you've been to the future.
It's many times, yeah.
You've been to the future.
Wow.
How did you get there?
It's mainly just it's just knowledge of knowing how we're going to experience life. I haven't experienced floating, and I haven't been there physically, visibly.
Then why did you say you had world 3 times?
Hang on. Wait. Hang on. Please stop. Please.
He's teaching me knowledge about the future.
I'd like you to explain. I'd like you to explain the future. What's this future you're talking about? Okay, tell us something about it. You're telling us nothing about it.
Okay. He's taught me how we're going to experience life. No, man was created male and female. So you're going to wake up with a partner in the next age. An eternal partner. Somebody will be in every
Do I get to pick this person?
vision or dream. No, it's created.
So I have no choice.
Man was created. Man then is the information. You were created male and female. So you'll wake up with 2 different bodies, one male and one female.
So I'll be 2 people.
In this age, we were only made with one body after the first 2 were put in the simulation. So that explains.
So you're believing the biblical story of Adam and Eve.
Please, hang on.
That doesn't matter.
Wait, hang on. Are you saying that our consciousness is going to inhabit 2 different bodies in this next age you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to be. So
make sure I got that.
Those two bodies will be of one mind then. So every vision and dream, every experience you have will be unique to you too.
Okay, will you be consciously aware of what's going on in the mind and of the other person? Are you actually controlling both simultaneously?
No, you're going to be a separate, visible people. What's going to happen is you're going to have your own experience in it, like going to a movie together, okay? But you'll be in a 3D world, whatever type of worlds he puts us in. Think of us as going into a simulation when you play different simulation games. You can put yourself in different worlds and all that stuff. It's similar to that, but you're going to have a partner to be with.
Are you playing 2 characters simultaneously, or does each one have its own mind and separate?
You both have your own experiences, your own perspective.
How is that different from now?
Well, it's similar because what you perceived and experienced in your world and what I perceive, and we come together and start sharing that information. Okay? But in this world, it's very hard to read each other's stories.
Why do we need to share information?
The thing is, if you have bodies, but 2 different bodies, but you're only able to have the experiences of one of the bodies, then there's no difference.
Wouldn't it be more exciting to have a partner in every experience you have, rather than going to the movie by yourself?
Well, I don't want...
That's the soulmate
You go on vacation by yourself. You go on vacation by yourself?
Yeah,
you know how
I do,
boring?
actually.
Okay, some people do. Most people go with somebody. Most people like the vacation with
I've
other
gone
people.
on vacation to meet people.
Okay, there you go.
But that's the soulmate twin flame thing, right?
The one?
I mean, that's the
Yeah,
theory
pretty
behind
much. Pretty much,
soulmates
yeah.
and twin flames. They're one split into two, and then they find each other again.
Yeah, it's the
Right?
same kind of concept, yeah. But
They
I mean,
call it a soulmate. You can call it a soulmate or whatever, but man was created as a male and a female. But in this age, we only got one body. So we got characteristics of both male and female. Some people have more male characteristics and others have more female. But some people, you can't tell if they're male or female
irrelevant.
by their voice and their characteristics. We're both male and female in one body. Now in the next age, you're going to have one male and one female body. So that information
So
that
what
makes you
about
male
what
and female.
about? Is there going to be no homosexuality, no transgender, none of those things?
We won't understand that stuff in the next life, no.
Why
That's
not?
only for
That's
this
a
one.
part of our reality.
No,
Why
that's
would
on-
why
no,
would it
that's only-
change?
That's only the law. That's only in this age.
Okay, so you're saying that those people aren't worthy of being recognized in the new world. I don't want to be in a future where that happens. Sorry.
You're gonna have a partner, and then
Well, you
when
don't
you
get
have
a choice.
okay, you're not gonna get a choice. When you
Well,
go
that
in,
I want that future even less.
He's already
When
said
you-
in this model we have no
when-
choice as to anything.
when you go into when our Creator planned an experience for you, let's say it's a dream, you two will wake up in that dream with different bodies. We're not going to always have the same body. When we get out of the dream, we will.
Then how
We'll have
can we
always
be
have the same
male
dream.
and female if we don't have this body?
You're going to have a male always have a partner. It doesn't matter whether you're male or female. That's irrelevant. It's
I'm
not going
talking
to be
about,
like this
you
age.
just said we won't have the same body, but yet we'll be male and female.
No.
How can
We're
that
gonna-
happen?
We're going to take on different form. You and your partner will have the same form. So if we wake up as a bird,
Would
your
you get your
partner's going to look
story
like a bird.
straight? So now I could be coming back as a bird.
Will you listen?
No, I'm trying to make sense of what you're saying because you're going
You,
all over the
you
place.
interrupt and interject something right away without listening to me.
Because you're talking nonsense. I'm asking you, will we have a male body and a female body like our bodies? And then you said
No, not like
you could
these
come
bodies.
back as a bird.
They're not going to be anything like the bodies we're in right now.
Then how can they be male or female?
It's a part. It's just that you're going to have a partner to be with in every experience. It doesn't matter whether you're the male or female. You're going to have a partner.
That's not the question I asked.
Man was created to have two visible bodies
Where did you get that information from?
from our Creator.
Oh, okay, right. The one that only
Okay.
you talk to.
He's
Yeah,
he's
okay.
the one that taught me. Oh yeah, most
Right.
Christians don't believe that. Christians don't believe we're gonna. When I show them there is some verses in Genesis that show that man was created male and female. When I share that with Christians, they think I'm nuts. They think
Well,
I'm
I don't
absolutely crazy.
accept the whole biblical story anyhow, and I do know that it does
Well, neither
say
do Christians.
That. Well,
Neither do Christians.
I agree with you that it says that in our image we created them male and female, but it doesn't say they created one being in both images. It means that God has got clearly they don't understand that God is both
read
sexes.
the verse clearly.
I've read the verse thousands of times.
Nobody understands that one. Nobody
And
catches it.
clearly you don't
Nobody.
either, but that's okay.
Nobody catches it. And nobody catches the second verse in the Genesis either. The earth was created without form and void. They don't
I
catch
knew
that. Okay, they don't understand it. So it was created as information. It doesn't even exist
It was
until it's
created
observed.
without form and void, therefore information. That's quite a leap. Can you back that
Well,
up with some evidence?
When you start understanding,
Oh,
that-
don't stop
when-
using
when
that
you,
word.
When
okay?
you understand that we're living in a simulation and the earth isn't real, then that verse makes sense.
No, whatever.
But if you believe it's real, then that verse is going to be twisted. And
I
distorted.
don't accept the biblical claim about anything. So we'll start with that and get that through your head.
You don't accept anything.
That's why
other
I'm
than
an
what you-
atheist.
Other than what
And
you
that's
believe.
why I'm a skeptic. I don't believe
You
anything,
are-
and I don't trust people telling
you
me
think
bullshit
you think
who are
out of
usually
it.
people that
You
get revelation.
have a little box like Christians do thinking out of the little box. That's all you have.
You talk to the only creator of the whole program, and I'm supposed to accept what you say.
And
without
he's
any
made
evidence.
and he's given me awareness of everything.
And you're full of shit.
Knowledge of everything. Well, that's what you believe.
That's what I know.
You don't know anything.
Please
Zero.
Stop it.
Zero.
Your condescension is amazing.
Zero knowledge.
Right.
Of what's
Right.
going on.
And one of us is living on the street, and one of us has a job and takes care of their family. Hello.
Good.
Yeah. So, but I'm the one out of touch with reality. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
That's kind of what I thought you would say.
That's right. You are.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm not. I have nothing against you. It's just that you don't.
Actually,
you don't
I'd
believe
have
it.
to argue. I'd have to actually say that I believe that he's the one that's in touch with reality. Because what we are experiencing around us is what reality means. The world in which we reside, the things in which we interact. This is how we define what is and isn't real. Now, you can state that there is a different reality. However, even if you're to stipulate something along the lines of a matrix, those that are inside the matrix are interacting with reality.
That's right.
Once you introduce a different reality, you'd have to redefine what you're talking about when you're saying reality. So he has very much come to terms with reality. You're just stipulating that there's another reality in addition to it.
Okay, every created being that ever woke up in this world in a body has their own unique perspective.
That movie was played in the 90s.
Whatever perspective they have is what they believe is their reality. Okay?
And you have not demonstrated why I should accept your version of it.
That's all you have and all you know. It's your own.
And you know more because you're in a different reality than the rest of us.
I know everything. I understand everything.
You know everything. That's a God claim.
I understand everything how we were created.
You understand, and you're calling me arrogant.
Hang on. Please.
I understand how people observe things. I understand how they experience life. Yes, I know.
Okay, you're claiming to know everything. When you're saying claiming to know everything, what specifically are you talking about?
When it comes to the creation, when it comes to how we observe things, how we experience life, how we were created, I know how that's all done.
Okay, if you understand all these things, I have a question for you then. Now, when you go and you look at something, is there an actual image of what you're looking at that's formed in the mind?
In the mind, it's formed in the mind as an illusion.
Actually, hang on. In accordance to neurosurgery, no, there is no one place that actually compiles these things. It's drawn from several different portions of the mind and compiled, and it takes a little while to compile that. But there is no actual image that is formed within the mind. In accordance to neuroscience, we know this. You're incorrect on that particular assertion.
No. There's the images we observe. It's not.
Go out and come back in, Brad. We can't understand you.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up. Hang on, Brad. You sound like a robot. We cannot understand you. You need to relog.
You're breaking up. You need to go out and come back in.
He did it. He did it when this morning. Just F5.
Go out and come back
just hit F5. We can't understand a word you're saying right now. You're just.
F5 and we'll hear you again.
Yeah, you're just made of click. Oy vey, fucking.
Wow.
Oy.
You know what? We're all in a lot of trouble if he's right.
I'm pretty confident he's not.
I mean, how would we know? How do we know?
Because
I know, me too. But I mean,
well, okay. The problem with his claim is that it's a who gives a fuck.
I transported Jesus Christ twice.
I mean, that's kind of the thing is even if it were true, he needs to be re-added.
Even
if it were true, then it doesn't fucking matter. Who gives a shit?
There he is. Welcome back, Brad. Try your mic again.
Guess what? We can't re-add.
Try your mic again.
Oh, we can't re-add him.
Oh.
We don't have
somebody did a moment ago.
No, I don't know how to do any of that, so it wasn't me.
I don't know.
It was M.
No.
MK, are you hiding in the shadows?
Yeah, I don't know.
If it does, I'll open a room if you guys want it. If he can't.
He's there. Let's see if he can talk to us now. Try and talk to us.
He's not actually there.
You want me to open a room?
Oh, wait, hang on a second. Let me try something. Oh, there we go. What the fuck do you know? How did I get ops?
Oh, good.
Okay. Well, shit. Hang on.
MK may have
He might have given them to you.
Showing broadcast. There we go.
afterwards.
Fuck it.
There
Okay.
we go. Got me?
Yep, we got you. That
God
sounds
damn
way
it,
better.
13, you've been holding out this whole goddamn time, 13. You
Dude, I never fucking even looked. I didn't get a notice.
Clayton, you want to say
Memo.
something? I know you're probably dying to get in here.
I wanted to say something.
Go ahead, Michael.
I'm really upset. I align very heavily with Brad. Even Brad, I went on over 130 mile an hour car rides, zigzagging all over the states, following the signs, reading the Matrix from the inside out. I understand this shit. I have this experience. The thing is, I also saw things that were, I call them supernatural, in that you might say they're from the future. I saw whatever you wanted to say I didn't see. And you want to say it's not evidence, but I'm saying fuck you because I saw it. And you say you're the only one, but I think I'm not the only one, and I'm not being unserious about any of this. And you don't even respond to my claims about being here with you, hearing you, knowing what you're saying, abiding by this. But
Okay,
I was out, right? So anyway, how do you justify the fact that I agree with you, but I'm also the one, but I'm not a saint? I'm whatever I am in this, and what I wonder is, how do you abide by the Creator? There must be some like normative behavior that you're following, like an ode to Him, a prayer, a thought, a wave, a way, a manner, a tone, something that you would think you could actually abuse it. You could actually break the Creator's laws by doing something so vile to yourself in this matrix that it could possibly have ramifications on the future, no? And so you don't do it, right? You remain a button-down, sober man following this line of thought, right? You don't break the law, although you do break the law. So why don't you break that law?
Well, you can break the law of our Creator, because that's determined. That's right. Everything is determined, but there's two different kinds of there's different.
I'm not
thoughts.
denying determination either. I'm not
Two
denying.
different things going on. There's that visible world that we belong to, okay, that we're born into. That simulation we're born into. That has, and all that information that comes in the form of language and and everything else. That is of this world. That is of this part of the simulation that's going to end. It's going to be destroyed. In fact, we have evidence of this falling apart as time goes on.
Brad,
We build a building,
I agree
it
with
falls
you.
apart.
I
Okay.
agree with you. What I'm wondering is, what do you do in your spare time while you're alive? Are you just like, hey, I sense my death and I'm trying to protract it or condense it and get to that? No, you see the future. You're talking about the future. You're talking about beyond points. And I'm like, okay, I don't not see what he's saying. I see what he's saying. And I understand all of everything you're saying, even viscerally, even down to the point of believing in determinism, understanding everything you're mentioning about language. But how do you occupy your time relative to me while you're setting the stage of everybody else as you being the center when I know I am the center? How is that bivalent? Not possible unless we're arced together, like Sugar said, in twin flames or in some sort of determined manner that we must correlate at this time in this manner to influence and share and data process one another. No?
Now you and I are in the center, right in this
Right, okay,
conversation.
so you and I are in the center. That means there's at least two of us in the center. And
It comes in agreement. It's hard to explain. Oh, in the parable, have you ever heard the parable of the word thrown, the seed thrown on the rocks, the word then spoken to believers? That's
The parable of the sower.
the parable that Jesus supposedly said.
I think I've heard it. I've heard it.
The seed thrown on rocky soil is eaten up by birds and destroyed, and then of course the seed that's thrown in the soil with tares, with weeds. What that means, people get the word, get some knowledge, but the world is distracting to them and they forget it. It goes away. They can't. They just go away, and then Then you have the seed that's thrown on fertile ground, 30, 60, 100-fold. You know, people are blessed with that. Okay, what it is the seed thrown on rocky soil are the ones who hear the gospel, the word of the gospel, and reject it. They just can't. They don't. It just doesn't agree with them at all. They won't even listen to it. In fact, they'll threaten to beat me up and all kinds of stuff. Those people totally reject it. Then you got the ones that will come to me. They listen to my message. They like a couple things that I share with them, maybe about religion. You know, religion is just comes from the building of false gods or whatever, and those people are deceived with their religious dogma. Okay, they're satisfied with that. They go on, do their drugs or business or stuff in the world, and they hardly ever see them again. They don't want to learn anymore. They can't absorb anymore. So when I start sharing deeper stuff with them, they get frustrated and they don't want to hear it anymore. They actually tell me, I don't understand it. I don't get it. And they don't even want me to talk to them anymore. Then there's others.
And they couldn't be wrong. So continue on.
Well, no, they just reject it. They just couldn't handle it.
Oh, okay, so get to the last of the parable.
Then the 30 to 60, 100. Well, I'd say from 1 to 100%. So a lot of people who come to me, they get fed. I share this knowledge with them. They can go to the deeper levels, and they'll be in agreement. But then all of a sudden, something I say will cause them fear, and they stop there. They can't handle anymore. If I told them we're living in a simulation, they just spook. They're skeptics. Okay, they would be more like the doubting Thomas. Okay, they need evidence. They need evidence from that point on.
Right, but this is the point of my contention right here. At what point, why can't you turn on your camera and stab a knife through your hand in front of us and just bear the pain? Because you know it's just a data complex, right? You know you're actually not hurting yourself, really, right, Brad, right? You could do that for hours, right? Maybe put a cigarette out in your hand.
I'm still in the world. I'm still in the world. I've done stupid things like that before.
Actually, according to this kind of hypothesis, Michael, it would actually have to still fall within the confines of the computer program.
But the point is it's just a pain. It's just pain, right? You seem somehow, to me, this is how you're lesser than me, Brad. You don't understand.
You don't know much.
You don't understand suffering to the visceral degree to be able to repeat it publicly for the sake of mere demonstration. If you really are distributing this with a seriousness, prove it by finding a cigarette, put it out on your hand in front of your camera.
Michael, the more interesting proof would be if he just killed himself on camera.
Well, that would be, but then who would we talk to other than you and every other manifestation of the universe?
Hang on. I'm going to jump in for a second. I've got to jump in for a second.
We don't want to go there.
I've got to jump in for a second because there will be a day, someday, that somebody will hold one of these beliefs strongly enough that they will do just that, and I don't want to push people in that direction.
I already know how it's going to happen.
Sure you do.
I get a bullet. I get a bullet to my forehead.
What does that have to do with what I was just saying?
No, but that's how I'm going to go out.
That's nice, but not at all what I was referencing.
Well, I mean,
You got anything else to add, Mike? How about you, Clayton? You got anything to add?
Mike can't come to the phone right now. He's in the inner circles of thought.
Well played.
Sometimes that's really interesting. Thought.
He's my brother insane. We both share the same body. We both share duplicate multiple bodies. We live through one another.
Shut up! I'm the little head that never gets used.
Right. You're and Brad, there's the dick smack. You're the little head, but he's the dick head.
The only time I ever get anything off my chest is when he jerks me off.
When I lick it off. That's right.
Hey, can I finish that?
Oh my God, they are cut from the same cloth.
Can I finish that parable story about the 30, 60, 100?
I thought you already finished it.
No.
I don't mind.
Okay. A saint then is one who gets 100% of the knowledge that he wants us to to the knowledge that He feeds us, that reveals to us. So that's why He has us go out preaching the gospel. We find the believers. Some of them go to the 100% level because they're open-minded. I call open-minded. They're receiving it and they believe. So they get 100%. Everything I speak to them, they understand, believe. Then there's others that get, they'll get hung up on the simulation thing, and they'll walk away. They can't understand it. They don't want to understand it because they don't believe it. So there's many levels of belief. I call believers.
So what does getting 100% actually do for me?
But it's just the way He planned it out. I didn't create any of this.
So He's determined how much I'm already going to get.
Yes, of course. Exactly.
Then why did you tell us the parable?
Well, because I just want to help you understand. Some of you might be getting some of this and believing it, and others of you are real skeptical, and some of you totally reject it.
Well, like 13 said earlier, if we're all pre-programmed simulation pieces, how can we learn anything if we already know it all? If we're already determined, if everything is determined, how could we ever possibly learn anything?
Because it's in the simulation that some characters learn more about it than others. Just like you go to school to be a medical technician or a doctor or whatever, you have to go to school. It's in the simulation.
It's a matter of what data nodes you touch while playing Super Mario.
Yes, exactly. You have to learn your trade. You have to learn what you do in this world. The same with me. I had to learn what this is all about. I went to school. Let's say I went to university for 6 years with our Creator, and it took a long time for me to totally understand what's going on. That all the writings, all the spoken words I used, the visions and the dreams, the analogies He came into my mind to speak, all those ways He used to teach me all these, this knowledge. Okay, so and then He uses me to speak that to His people that brings to me. I have no control over that. I'm just a witness to it. I'm just kicked back. I'm a witness to what's happening because it's all been predetermined. Just because this knowledge is coming out of my mouth doesn't mean I'm any supreme being. It's just the way the plan unfolds. And so I'm going to die just like everybody else. I'm going to wake up in the next life not remembering this. I'm not going to remember being the one in this world being used to speak this knowledge into the world. And I won't know that. I won't remember that.
And you can't be wrong about any of this, right?
Well, how can I be if I'm going to die without knowing that I lived in this world? Why would I, exalt myself over that? It's just something I learned. He taught me this.
So you're saying that you can't learn something wrong. Everything you learned is absolutely right.
Well,
This is why I asked you what knowledge was.
Our Creator is the one who taught. He corrected me when I was going off, and he could do all kinds of stuff to get me in line. I tell you, until to the point where I know that every word I speak, I can't doubt. I have no doubt of it. I am not a skeptic. I have no doubts. But that's a learning thing.
Earlier that you believed that God was telling you what to believe when you were an atheist.
Thank you.
I didn't know our Creator while I was an atheist.
Well, I understand that, but didn't you say earlier that you said that God was telling you?
No.
I heard that too. That too.
You didn't? No. You
got
it
we
twisted.
both heard it.
You got it twisted, though.
No.
Okay. How was it twisted?
He said it word for word the way I did.
James,
so
let him go ahead and clarify.
What I said is that I was I didn't believe in God or Satan or anything. That they tried to teach me when I was a Lutheran, a boy going to church at Sunday school. You learn the stories, but that's it. That's all I knew. I didn't believe in it. It just didn't absorb. It didn't. I started drinking at an early age. By the time I was 16, I left that church.
So you did go to church as a kid.
Well, I went to church. A lot of people
Yeah.
did.
So you did hear these stories as a kid. You did have some exposure to the Bible as a kid.
That's what he
Well,
just said.
yeah,
Doesn't it?
The way
yeah,
you
yeah.
presented
Yeah.
it, the way you presented it right at the beginning was that you didn't.
Actually, the way he kind of presented it early on was that.
No, I'm talking about
it
before
didn't-
you
I
got
told
here.
you
Vince.
grew up in the Lutheran church. I told you, and went to church and Sunday school, and learned what they were trying to teach.
You
They
said
were
that
teaching me
about
stuff.
2 hours after you said you had you
No,
didn't grow up
I
with
told
any
you that
biblical-
when I said
You
that I
changed
became.
your story so many
I
times
was-
you can't even keep track
I
of it,
was
Brad.
an atheist. Okay, I didn't believe that stuff. When I started drinking, I didn't believe any of that stuff.
The only point I'm making, Brad, is that you grew up hearing this book.
Wait.
And
Hearing
this is-
what?
That's the
Hearing
point I'm
what?
trying. The
Hearing
biblical,
what?
Hold on, because I got a couple of important questions.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You know, I know a lot of atheists that grew up in religion. I know lots of atheists.
I did too.
Okay.
But the only point I'm making
Man,
is that
you're
you
just
heard,
really twisting
you
everything.
heard these biblical stories growing up. You made it sound as if this was all brand new. You'd never heard any of this biblical stuff.
No, I didn't say that.
Yes, you
I
did.
never
More than once. Go
Man,
ahead.
you
Go ahead,
are
Ocean.
unbelievable.
Okay,
Twisting
Brad,
everything I say.
Did you say that you were a
You're putting
proponent
words in
or
I
not?
didn't even say.
Yeah,
I didn't even
no,
say
you
those.
did
Great,
say
it's twisting words.
No, I didn't.
Hold on.
You don't remember anything.
I remember an awful lot.
Not clearly. You don't remember clearly. You interpret. You twist everything I say.
Is that how you get
Will you
around?
listen
I'll
to
let you
me?
guys
Will
answer
you
that.
listen to the whole? Will you listen to me?
I listened to you. I have been listening to you for
I
4.5 hours.
I grew up like many atheists did. Okay. The reason they become atheists is because they didn't believe in the religious garbage their parents and people were trying to tell them.
I have no problem with you saying that. That's not
Okay.
the part I'm telling you you misrepresented.
I didn't
The
believe
part you
that stuff.
misrepresented.
I
let me
told
say
you
it-
I grew up in the Lutheran church.
But the
I told you I
part,
went to Sunday
the
school.
part that you misrepresented, and I'll make it clear one more time, when you started saying all these things, and I said, well, that sounds like the Bible. That sounds like the Bible. You said clearly, well, I was not influenced by the Bible. I'd never read the Bible. I didn't know anything about this book when your creator was giving you these stories. You said that. I might be a little off in the
I
verbiage,
didn't
but that's what you
say-
said.
No, I didn't say that at all.
Okay, then you're
Actually,
just an
hang
outright
on,
liar now.
please, hang on a second. What he said was somewhat akin to that, but the impression I got was that, well, he went to church, he didn't pay fuck all attention. That was kind of the
Yeah,
impression
didn't
I got
pay-
from what he was saying.
I didn't really get it. I didn't pay attention. I didn't care about it. I was more concerned about drinking, getting a drink. Okay, I like women. I
But
like
you still
speeding.
heard the stories. That's the only point I'm making.
So did you.
I did. I know the stories quite well.
Okay. Yeah, and you probably knew them better than I did when I was a kid.
Probably do, which
I
is
could
why
care less.
when
I
you
could care-
make that statement that they didn't influence you at all, I questioned you, and
You
you
know-
said no, I didn't use the Bible at all, and then you conveniently
not-
throughout the rest of the hangout you've been changing your story.
I didn't say that. That I
Yes,
didn't
you
know
did.
use the Bible at all. I didn't say that. I said I didn't get.
You're such a
didn't-
liar.
I didn't get taught.
I guess
from-
We're going
maybe
round,
this
like,
is
round
the
and round
God's
in circles
deceiving
with this.
part.
Listen, I didn't get taught by the Bible. I read it. I read it many, 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 many times. I didn't learn a damn thing from it.
Now
I
you're
learned-
changing the story again.
Listen, no. I learned everything directly from our Creator. He had me write and speak for Him. That's how I learned everything. That's why I know the New Testament's trash. That's
Go ahead,
why I know
Ocean.
those. That's why I know
I'm
the
done
Old
with this
Testament has a
lying.
bunch of
I'm
religious.
I'm done with this liar. Go ahead, Ocean. Ask him your questions. I can't
Because you
listen to
didn't.
him.
You don't.
I can't listen to him lie
you
about his
don't
own
listen-
position
You
anymore.
don't listen to the whole story. You don't listen to me.
I've listened to
keep
everything
inter-
you have said.
No, you have not. You
Yeah, I
haven't.
have actually.
You twisted
You just
everything.
don't like it when I throw it back in your face.
No, you twisted everything.
No, I'm
You
not
throw it back
twisting
to-
your
Every
words.
time I hear "Go ahead, Ocean," you guys keep
You
talking.
have twisted everything that I've said.
No,
Everything you throw back at me, you've twisted. Everything.
Okay, how about we all shut the fuck up and let Ocean speak for a second?
Yay! All right, Brad. It sounds kind of like you're an eclectic Christian. Would that be accurate?
Me, a Christian?
You're saying,
No.
well, What do you identify as?
I'm a saint.
Okay. Is that in the Christian sense, or is that in a different sense?
No, not in a Christian sense. That's in the okay, well, Christians don't even understand what a saint is. They have no clue what it is. They don't know why saint, the word saint is in the Bible.
Well, then
They have no clue. None of them. Not one.
what is a saint then?
A saint is a character in the simulation that our Creator used to testify to His knowledge, to teach us where we came from. Okay? It's religious people that took those words and distorted them and wrote the New Testament. The New Testament, you cannot understand anything that I know from reading the New Testament. It's impossible.
So how would one convert to your religion?
Don't belong to a religion.
Do you have beliefs about the supernatural?
I believe in everything that God created.
That'd be yes.
You have a religion.
Even ghosts, UFOs, aliens, everything. Everything that's coming to minds
If
of
that's
men.
the case, then you have a religion.
Brad, explain to them when you first when you first got contact. Tell them what kind of visceral, emotional, like things that you believed before that somehow you were convinced of after that you wouldn't have been convinced of before that happened during that conversion. That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
Okay, well, before the conversion, I was an alcoholic. I really didn't give a dang. I was just trying to.
No, not these generalizations of facts. Like, tell us about. Get us another beer then.
Michael, let him speak.
Okay, but I'm just saying, get to the nuance.
What I believed in, what I came up with in my mind, or I guess the Creator put in my mind, before I was aware there was a Creator, was that the people on this earth were from other planets. We were the criminals of other alien worlds. And that to me explained why we kill each other, lie to each other, all the craziness in this world. That's what I gathered from it.
So you're saying this Earth is actually Australia, right? That's where we. That's where you're.
Well,
we're a penal colony.
I thought it was a penal colony. I really, that was just a fleeting thought, but I didn't give a rip. All I cared about was drinking and women. That's all I cared about. I lost a family. I got married and had a kid. I lost that. I lost jobs because I had to go on drinking binges. I came back to the family farm after being gone for a couple of years, and they were rejecting me. So that was in 1979, and in '79 was the December 7th was the day that our Creator spoke into my mind. And then 6 days later, I was sober. I haven't been drunk since. Haven't had a drink since then.
That's why we're going to go have a drink, and you can get a Shirley Temple, but I'm going to spike it and bring you to Bill Cosby stall and butt fuck you and film it and share it with your family and everyone else and make certain your sainthood is done, buddy.
I thought of it, what would happen if I got drunk again, but I just, I wouldn't drink because it's not in me. I don't have a desire to do it. But yeah, I had to go through all that stuff, man. I thought I was going to die in '79. I went into the DTs in January of '79, and I thought that was my last day on Earth. It was the most horrible experience it's a terrible experience. But I went into the hospital thinking I was having a heart attack, and they gave me drugs that would knock out a horse, and they didn't knock me out. And I ended up staying awake for 5 days. Just afraid of death. I was very fearful of death. So that changed my drinking pattern. I started binge drinking. I would drink for 3 days straight until I felt like I was losing it, and then I had to quit. And during the days that I quit was horrible. That's when the pains came in. And so my whole internal just was so painful. That would last 2 to 3 days. And then finally I would come out of that, and then I felt like drinking again, so I'd go on another binge. So I did that all during 1979, thinking I was going to die. And So it was in December 7th, 79. I was getting ready to go out on a binge. I'd been sober 4 days. I was looking in the mirror, getting ready to comb my hair, and I got to go back to the day I thought I was going to die in the DTs. I saw these like satanic heads floating around the room and laughing at me, and for hours. I thought, I looked at it as hallucinations when I came out of it, so I didn't think much of it. And then during that summer, I had one occasion I was going down a hill that on my way home, going over a river on a bridge, and as I was going down, I was drinking. As I was going down the hill, all of a sudden that laughter came into my mind again. And the steering wheel actually started being forced out of my hand toward off the road and into the river about 25 feet below the bridge. And for some reason, I was able to grab it and get control of the vehicle again, and I slid sideways across the bridge. I mean, that shook me up pretty good, but I was drunk, so I was able to handle it. And then, of course, December 7th, the day I witnessed this, thought in my head of the Creator, I was getting ready to go out and party for a 3-day binge. It was on a Friday night. So I was looking in the mirror after taking a shower, and the image that I was looking at my face, and that turned into a hideous-looking monster. I mean, the most hideous creature I'd ever seen in my entire life. My hair stuck up, and especially when it started talking to me and started laughing at me. And the same laugh that I heard in the summer and during that time I had DTs. And it just freaked me out. And all of a sudden, the thought came in my mind. I said, if Satan is real, then there must be a creator. There must be. And just as I got that thought, my whole body just started vibrating in this energy flow. And the thought came into my mind, I am your creator. Very, very strong and verbal. I mean, I understood him clearly. So that was my first experience with our creator. And,
well, I am your brother, Saint Tommy of God.
Okay.
God bless you. Yeah.
God bless you. All right, man.
I have trouble overesteeming my current understanding, as if it is infallible. Yes, it certainly feels infallible. Yeah. Oh, the wondrous wisdom that goes through my mind. Sometimes I am tempted sorely to see myself as a wise man. But as many of you who know me here, I ain't all that wise, But anyway, good to meet you, sir.
Good to meet you. Good to meet you. You've gotten taught some wisdom, though. There's a creator. There's a creator, and he's taught you a lot of stuff.
That's creator shit, man. It sounds like the Mormons.
Creator. You sound like
oh Heavenly Father, man. What the fuck?
Don't blame it on the Mormons, dear God. They get enough shit for this.
You want me to call him Lord and Savior and King?
How about
how about outer space alien?
Something else. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, gentlemen, boys.
I walk away for a couple of minutes and I come back to masses of hostility. What the fuck happened?
But no, you're mistaken about that. I don't know that there's a God. I don't know. I can't test tube him. I could be crazy as an outhouse rat, yes. But I do believe. I do hold belief.
Don't talk enough because you got to say, "Oh God, oh God."
What happened? What was your experience? What was your experience to come to the conclusion there's a God, a creator?
The short 15-second version. I went to the Episcopal Church, knelt down at the altar to get hands laid on me, got up with new vision, then got in a bind and called out for help. Please, please, please help me. And here I am today. Bing. I hold belief, usually during waking moments. Usually during waking moments, yes.
Did you have any kind of change in your life?
Oh, I have progressively changed. I can't say I've matured, but I have changed. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Your thoughts have changed.
Oh, yes. I'm more Christ-like than ever, and more loop-de-doo than ever, and yeah, I am what I am.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. But you know he's a creator. You know he's the creator of your thoughts, and
Poppy,
My
Well,
brother,
no, don't know
my
that.
brother wants to know, does anyone else in this room have a job? Does anyone have a job?
I do.
8-hour. James,
I do.
we suspected that. Anyone else?
My business is my own, and I am tending it, even as I speak.
you're holding a stick.
You're laying an egg. You're a no.
I have a job. I've had one for 4.5 years, for 6.5 years now.
Yeah, it's to be a goddamn preacher and a saint and a yada yada
He's a
yogi
Mormon.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Fucking half Mormon.
I'm a testimony to the knowledge of God.
To the simulation.
That's a job you're saying.
The
That's
mom
how-
is a testimony to the knowledge of God, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and that's how I learned there's a simulation. Yes.
My job is to breathe, and I'm doing pretty
I
good.
have to apologize. I can't say anything with my brother here. He just jumped in like had a what crazy cycle.
Well, in the next stage, we won't have air to breathe. We won't be concerned about breathing.
Why
'Cause
not?
we won't need to. Because we'll know we're in a simulation, so the objects will be.
Then, right?
Okay.
He doesn't-
Mickey Mouse, for example, Mickey Mouse has been what, 60-some years old now.
He's a
He doesn't
fictitious
He doesn't
character.
He doesn't have to eat. He doesn't have to. He doesn't even sweat. Okay.
Sweat
We're
free.
gonna be-
That's the way to
Well,
be.
by,
baby.
by
It'll
his
be more
claim,
like.
by
It'll be
his
more like
claim,
that.
we are
next week.
fictitious characters too.
Okay.
Now, I myself,
Understand that.
I have experience with an Apostle Paul complex. That's a certain condition where one overesteems one's spiritual experience, and it can be treacherous to be spiritual minded. It ain't all it's cracked up to be, you know. I have experience with a little delusion here, a little delusion there, and but I'm learning. I'm learning my mind a little bit better.
Does anybody ever take DMZ, the most potent hallucinogen you can get from South America, and actually transpose yourself out of your body and walk forward to your thought?
Hang on, that's just me. Hang on. Sorry.
Actually, when I talk to people that have experienced those kinds of things, because I didn't do that kind of hard drugs, but I wished I would have. I wished I would have had the chance, because it sounds interesting to me to have these out-of-body experiences. I've had them because our Creator's given me those things, but not through the drugs.
Well, managing a good mind ain't always easy, and not everybody is perfectly mentally healthy at all times. So if you find yourself not being perfectly mentally healthy at all times about everything, don't be surprised, my brother. Don't be surprised. It's okay.
No.
Being this healthy.
No, I've been pretty mentally sound now for a long time, so.
Good. But if you do notice your mind glitching on occasion, it's not unusual. Don't be frightened of your mind. I encourage you not to be frightened of
Oh
it.
no, that happened years ago. Yeah, when I sobered up, I had a lot of fleeting thoughts of going back to drink, and they were just fleeting. They just come and go.
Well, that's my main strategy with you, my brother, is to assure you that your understanding may be good, but it may not be perfect in all ways. And because from my perspective, you seem to be esteeming your understanding as perfect in all ways. And to me, I feel for you. I've been there.
Our Creator is the only perfect one because He's the Creator.
But
and I speak for Him.
Yes. Well, I can only
ask correct, Brad, because you say you speak for him on his behalf, and I say I don't not do that. I do that too. But you're saying you're like got a monopoly or some shit on it.
No, I'm forced to do it.
Hey, Brad, I know when I resurrect, I get to resurrect in your body, everyone's body, in a multiplicity of infinity forever and ever. I'm in. I get to relive everyone's life, right, Brad?
But is your hearing perfect?
We all came from one mind.
Is your hearing perfect? Is your hearing perfect? Is your understanding perfect in all ways? Is it perfectly deep? Is it perfectly infallible? I mean, you're just a man.
You got to understand. You got to listen to me. What I said.
Okay.
I speak and write for our Creator.
Oh, I believe you. For Him. Do you speak perfectly?
I speak for our Creator. Whatever word He puts in my mind, I speak for Him.
Okay, is your mind perfectly receptive to all words that he places? I mean, if you think the word shit, is it because God put it there?
He's the one that created
Okay.
everything. He's the one that created me.
I'm
He's the
hearing
one
you.
that created me to be his voice.
Well, I
Just
don't
like he
want-
created, just like he created Isaiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, Jesus, Peter, Paul, Timothy, all those
Saint
guys,
Thomas.
Moses,
Saint Thomas.
Satan. But
No,
that's
Saint Thomas.
that's a different set of thoughts. And so is
Well,
the beast.
I
Those
just want. I
those
don't
two
want,
different kinds of thoughts are of this world.
I don't want to foster doubt within you, but I just want to foster a healthy benefit of the doubt that your mind and what goes through it may not be perfectly deep yet. As it is written, we are growing in the grace and knowledge of God. And
I'm
so,
at 100%.
oh, you're 100%? I see.
I speak directly from the mind of our
I see.
Creator.
So it's almost like you have a cell phone, direct link,
I
direct
do.
connect.
I speak for him. I told you I speak for him.
Okay. Please speak to him for me. Tell him I'm looking forward to that bonus.
No, but he only gives me what you hear is all that he puts in my mind to speak. Okay?
I've heard you.
You may be able to ask questions, but he might not give you the answer. If you
Well,
ask me the last day is of this age, he won't give you the answer.
I see.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
You're not the first good neighbor that I've met that esteemed their thoughts as God's thoughts. That there was no ego distinction between their thoughts and God's first. You ain't the first. And I know from experience that such thoughts can be not easy to bear. So again, I'm not trying to foster doubt.
It took him 28 and a half years to get my ego out of the way. To get the flesh of this world out of the way. Okay? It took him that long. I went through things that most people couldn't even wouldn't be able to understand. It's amazing.
Did you have the good pleasure? Did you have the
total humility? Total humility.
Did you have the good pleasure of meeting our brother Beasley before he went on sabbatical?
I don't know Beasley.
Yeah, Beasley, Rob Beasley. He was another good man.
He didn't. But
He was a good man. Yes, Sugar. Excuse me.
I said he didn't, but I noticed there are about 4 or 5 similarities.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, at least.
Overesteeming one's understanding is a treacherous thing. I know it. I know.
I know. It's difficult.
It's difficult. It can be difficult.
It was more difficult when I first started speaking for him.
I see.
Okay, it was more difficult because it's a trust issue. And he corrected me when I made any mistake. When I brought the ego in, he would correct me big time. And that's very humiliating with the power he has to correct you. So I had to get to the point, before I could even start writing and speaking for him, get to the point where I'm in absolute total trust of every word he puts in my mind to speak and write. So everything I write and speak to his believers, chosen ones that is exactly the way he wants you to hear it. And if you can't pick it up, then you weren't designed to do it at that point. Maybe later down the road. Okay, I've had believers come to me who rejected me for a year. I mean, I'll speak of one guy. He was 80 some years old. He rejected me for over a year, and then he came to once he heard me preach the gospel to him, because he saw my messages on the board and he just rejected it. He didn't even come to talk to me. Once he started listening to me, after I preached to him for an hour and a half, and all of a sudden he started yelling out, "He's a believer! I believe you. He's speaking the truth." So he woke up after years. So I've had people like that. They're skeptical at first.
You can do that on this side of the screen, but in person, dude, God won't help them, man. So it's like, fuck you, man. I know that's why I said
my friend, and I guess I can call him my friend. My friend Shadow. My friend Shadow. He has experience in overesteeming one's guruhood. I think. Do you have experience in that, Shadow?
I'd say yes.
And it's so I can, in some way,
first and second hand.
Yeah, trusting God. That sounds virtuous, but may we all trust whatever is very maturely, and not in a juvenile way. Such trust I can't help but endorse and promote. But at the same time, may we be mature in how we trust what we perceive. What we perceive subjectively.
Hang on 1 second.
Thank you. Thank you.
There we go. Go ahead.
What we perceive subjectively, may we trust very maturely. Yes, thank you for abiding those words.
Oh yeah, I trust him fully, 100%. Every word I speak, I trust that it's coming from his mind.
And may you do so maturely.
And that he wants you to hear those words. Yes. Every word. I don't doubt one word. I don't doubt anything that I speak.
It's how to trust it that I want to promote, not doubt. I don't want to promote doubt. I want to promote how to esteem these words going through your mind. I suggest to you that they can be esteemed and trusted more maturely than in a perfect kind of way, whatever that means. I submit to your consideration.
Well, I speak for our Creator every word that He puts in my mind, and I trust every word. Every word that he. Okay, I'm clearly telling you. It's a belief thing. You either believe it or not.
I don't want to incite fear. I don't want to promote doubt. I don't want to do that. But I do want to promote maturity in how you trust God. That's what I want.
I'm 100% there. Yeah.
Because I do call it faith and not.
Faith and belief are two different things. Faith is when you know our Creator. That's when the point when He comes and speaks in your mind, that establishes faith. That means you. That means
every other fucked up religion out there. Get as many members as you can. Fucking as many assholes. Fucking get them in here to kill each other. Fucking all in the name of some fucking bullshit invisible man, dude. But they get in trouble because they're religion. But if a street gang does it for fucking money and power, recruit as many members as they can, they're fucking assholes. They get arrested.
Yep. Religion stinks, doesn't it? A lot of it. Yeah. Taking care of widows and orphans.
That's world war on this fucking planet, dude. It's been fought over that fucking book. The fucking book, the Bible. Fuck, they should ban that shit from hotel rooms.
Apple is getting to be the word. Apple is a big religion. So is Microsoft. All these different corporations.
Don't forget about Amway. Yeah.
Amway's a big one. I was involved in that for a while. Yeah, I was involved in that.
Yes.
Anyway, all religions come from the building of false gods.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's the beast. The beast operating in the minds of men. The beast is thoughts that come from our Creator to teach men how to build things. So when a man builds these objects, these buildings, or whatever he builds, he exalts himself because he doesn't know that our Creator put those thoughts in his mind to build those things. So that's what the mark of the beast means. The mark on the forehead, the mark on the hands. He puts thoughts, that's through the Gentiles. He gave those thoughts for man to look up in the stars at night and get building shapes. And shapes for their building codes and shapes for their characters of their letters and numbers. So that the sky became their geometry class.
Are you a Bible worshiper?
Me? No, not at all. Absolutely not.
How about an understanding worshiper? Are you an understanding worshiper?
Well, after I testified and understand everything he wanted me to understand through my writing and speaking for him, now I understand all the prophecies. I understand all the religious dogma that was added to the Bible.
How about
so a lot of it's garbage. Almost all of it.
How about a love worshiper? Are you a love worshiper?
Dreamscape or the Matrix or some bullshit like that.
I'm speaking love. I'm speaking the love of God to you right now.
You want to say something, not me. You want to say something.
So I speak the love of God, which is His thoughts, His knowledge.
Well, it is my hope that the micro profundities that I have babbled have been edifying. Good to see you, Shadow. Good to see y'all. Good peeps. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Good to meet you. Good to meet you.
Hey, Tommy.
Don't blame yourself.
Anyway, I got to get going. I got to go get something to eat and get around town. Okay.
Hi.
If you wanna well, I'm gonna meet you, Sugar, somewhere around Prune Yard.
If I get down there, yeah, I have to go down there next week. If I get down there, I will stop.
In fact, you kind of look familiar. I think I've seen you before.
Yeah, you
somewhere.
kind of look familiar. Were you ever a teacher?
No, I haven't been. I used to work. I built custom homes around here in the Bay Area. So I've been around here. I used to live. I used to live right down Dry Creek Road, right off of Bascom Avenue.
Oh, yeah, those apartments that are right there on.
Well, it's a duplex I lived in. Yeah, right down the street there.
Yeah.
Pauline Drive.
I
lived in. I lived in a duplex.
You actually do look very familiar, and I don't know why, but.
Yeah, you do too. I don't know. Did you work somewhere around the area, or?
At that age, no. Well, yeah.